Freak out there. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men power want? More power.
My name is luca-zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Here we go, guys and girls. Another Sunday, another show. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on KTOX 1340 AM. And also, of course, on 104.1 FM. Don't forget also to go to the website, www.lovegunsfreedom.com, and you can also listen to the show live. Now, I come from Italy, as you know, and of course my accent reminds me every time. And I remember when I was in Italy, one of the reasons why I left the country, when I realized there was no justice. Justice, it's something very important. I think it goes beyond the political parties, it goes beyond anything. It's supposed to be impartial, supposed to be blind. That's the way also, many statutes you can see the justice is supposed to be blind. What is right, what is wrong is wrong. No, not because you are somebody or you have the special connections, you're supposed to have the special privilege. No way. That's why I left Italy. Because one of the definitions of tyranny, in my opinion, is the selective enforcement of the law. Yes. You can see in our life, especially here in America right now, the last few years, that in my opinion, justice is dead. And don't get me wrong, I want it back. I'm not here to say just crying and say, okay, nothing we can do. No. We have first of all to admit it. We have a big problem. We are living under tyranny. And as I told you before, when you have a selective enforcement of the law, that's one of the definitions of tyranny. It's the chosen one out there, the elite, and then there are the rest of us, the slaves. They will throw the book at us for the minimal little thing. This happens on every way, in anything. From, your seatbelt you don't put together or whatever. You're just breaking some of the laws. Now, where I'm going with this? You know very well my position about former candidate, U.S. presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton. And the sad thing is, this woman right now, she should be facing at least a trial. Anybody else out there would have been at least facing a trial. Okay? That's a fact. I wanted to give to President Trump the opportunity to get in office and start to at least, really give us a chance to bring back justice. Everybody knows, even my dogs, even my chickens, even a guy with an accent like me who didn't go to school here understands that laws that were allegedly broken. Why I say allegedly? Because still deserve a trial, for sure. But the point, no trial on the way. And anybody I know that it could have done at least a tenth or let's say a fraction of what Hillary Clinton did, right now, forget about facing trial. Already probably we've been spending years in jail. The trial would be already ended. That's exactly what happened and what's happening to a man that I heard during the time of the elections, Mr. Kristian-saucier. Is a U.S. Navy veteran, but also is was in active duty, with an incredible record, and for a really, and now we will go through with his attorney, let's say a very little, in my opinion, infraction, that now this man has his life ruined, his family ruined, something that compared to Hillary Clinton, this guy is not a Boy Scout, this guy is a hero anyway. My point is, we have right now exactly what I'm talking about, a selective enforcement of the law. Now, this I want to be sure. This is not a Republican or Democrat topic. I have no party allegiance. My only allegiance is to the Republic and its Constitution. This is the oath I took when I became a naturalized American. So I'm not here to try to pander Republicans or Democrats, bash down Democrats. I don't care. in this interview, you will listen, in my opinion, what exactly is going on. And more important, I would like to bring attention to both people from both parties, because we all have responsibilities here to do our duty as Americans to start to bring justice back. If you're a Republican, in my opinion, you should start to pay a lot of attention here, because you have a job to do after this interview is done. Calling your president, our president, especially because you voted for him. And he counted on your support to bring some justice, not just to get Hillary under let's say, some real trial, some real charges, but more important, to bring justice to this man. And right now, Mr. Kristian-Saucier is living like an outlaw. It is being declared an outlaw. He's being found guilty and criminal. But let me shut up. Let me bring here the man who's trying to defend his honor and defend also his life and his reputation. And he's putting his time pro bono for this cause. Is his lawyer. His name is Ronald Daigle Jr. Ronald, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, and I love the American accent.
What did you say, Ronald? I'm sorry, I lost you.
I said I love your American accent.
Oh, thank you. You know, I have an accent from Kentucky, as you can hear it.
Yes, I love it. It's an American accent, and I love it. It's great.
Thank you, Mr. Daigle, Ronald. Listen, I want to give you the floor. First of all, I would like to briefly introduce yourself, because you're an interesting man, and I want to give, this is also a human case. You took this case pro bono. You're not just a regular lawyer. You're a lawyer that also you were in the same type of, commitment as Mr. Saucier is, and he was. You're a veteran yourself. So please introduce a little bit yourself, and then we will talk about the case, what's really happening with Mr. Kristian-Saucier. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, first of all. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate any chance we get to talk about this case, because as you know, pardons are very much political, and very little bit of it is legal. So I appreciate the opportunity. My name is Ronald Daigle. I have 21 years in law enforcement experience. I left that career to become a lawyer. I joined the military when I was 27. I joined the Navy Reserves. And, so it's 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year for the most part. But then after 9/11 hit, of course, there was no such thing as reserves. So I was activated and sent to Iraq. And over in Iraq, I want to tell you about this part, because over in Iraq, my job was a customs officer, and I would search everybody coming here back to the country, all the military personnel.
Wow.
We would search all their belongings and take all their pictures and all that stuff, because it was all classified information. So what we would do is we would search them and take their pictures from them and destroy them for them. No charges, nothing like that. Everybody was just basically said, don't do it again, now get home.
Wow.
So that's part of my background, pretty much. I mean, I've got a criminal background as a police officer for 21 years, and then I went into criminal defense. I flipped sides, and I can tell you right now, shows like this are so important, because, boy, our rights are being infringed upon every day. And I'm so excited to talk about this case, because it highlights a two-tiered justice system, whereas if you have money and power and influence, you can get away like Hillary Clinton. But if you don't, you wind up like my client, Kristian-Saucier, who they took and made an example out of.
Exactly. And this is exactly during the election what I was talking about, before even I knew, of course, the details of your case and Mr. Saucier. But I read the headlines, and I said, this is so sad, the fact that this, as I said, this is not a political issue anymore, because honestly, I don't care about parties. I care about what is right and what is wrong. And when you see all this on the open right now, they don't care anymore even to hide it. And they go pretty much what they're saying. And so what are you going to do? And they just, American people say, now they post on Facebook, and so what? The reality is that we are not living anymore in a country, under the rule of law. We are living right now a country pretty much that the rule of law, in my opinion, and according to facts, is selectively enforced. So it is a vital topic, this one, when it comes down to freedom, and to have a country that is not a banana republic anymore, but it's a real republic. Now, first of all, I wanted to ask you, let's go a little bit into explaining the situation. What exactly happened to Mr. Kristian-Saucier? what exactly was his rank when he was in the Navy, and what he did so terrible that the U.S. government pretty much had to throw the book at him.
Okay, so Kristian-Saucier he's a career sailor. He joined out of high school. He'd always wanted to be in the Navy and always wanted to serve his country. So he was in the Navy for a number of years. I think his rank at the time was an E3, a third-class petty officer. When he took a few photographs back in 2009, he took some photographs on a sub to show his daughter, who was going to be coming into this world. He wanted to show her where he worked. So he took six total photographs of the submarine. And it was on a flip phone, and flip phones were allowed on a submarine back then, so there was no violation for having his flip phone, just for taking those pictures that he took. And he had two other friends that took pictures. Now, everybody got caught but Kristian. His two friends got caught taking pictures, and they got in trouble for it. So they had to pay a fine, and they got busted down in rank. So it was just strictly an in-house military operation, and his commander, I guess, basically said, if you have any more pictures, go and destroy them. Everybody, I want them all destroyed.
Okay.
That's basically what he said. So now, fast forward from 2009 to 2013. Kristian-Saucier had this cell phone with these pictures on it that he'd forgotten about, and so now we're from 2009 to 2013. And he throws that cell phone away, and it winds up in a dump somewhere where somebody picked it up and thought, well, this looks like a cell phone, maybe I'll use it. And they charged it up and saw these pictures on it and reported it. You know, they said, oh, it looks like military pictures. So they took it to a military person that they knew, and the military person said, I don't know, these look like they could be, photographs of a military ship. I'll bring them to NCIS. When they brought him to NCIS started an investigation.
Wow.
And NCIS went to the FBI, and the FBI started an investigation because they thought, at that point, they were working on a Russian spy case, so they thought he was a Russian spy.
Wow.
So they put out a surveillance package on him. They followed him everywhere. They collected all kinds of evidence. They did search warrants on his houses, everything for these 6 photographs. And so if you want to see the cleanest sailor in history, he's got to be clean, because, trust me, they threw the book at him. If that's all they could find was 6 photographs, he's got to be a pretty clean guy. Now, in 2013, when he was in fact arrested, he was a first-class petty officer. He'd already been promoted to first-class petty officer, and he was really ready up for the rank of chief. So he was promoted so fast because of his stellar performance that he was really up for chief at this point.
And I have a question. If I can interrupt you 1 second. These photos, I'm sure they somehow hit the media, I believe. I mean, they've been released somewhere, I think on Facebook. I saw something like that. Is it true or not?
Yes, it is true. All the photos have been declassified and released. I
mean, so really, and the photo that I saw, that I really believe that the one that they were part of this case, I mean, there was no any type of sensitive information. It's not like they were showing, I don't know, some special weapon or some special piece of engineering. My opinion seemed like pretty standard photos that probably you can almost find in some, I don't know, technical books. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, you're 100% right. These photos were just very bland photos. They were just photos of the inside. They didn't zoom in on any part of the submarine. They didn't show any specific instrumentations. None of that. There's not even an accusation that that's what they showed. So no, you're right. You're 100% right. These pictures are all available on the internet now. Exactly,
and this is exactly my point. What type of there was a trial and there was a sentence. What type of final judgment this man is facing right now?
They convicted him of a felony, and they sent him to prison for 1 year. So he's in prison now.
Okay, there was a sound. 1 second. This is something strange. I'm just to let you know, just my paranoia. But every time I have sensitive, let's say, interviews, the line starts to shake, the internet starts to slow down. I don't know. So let's say again, it was a felony, I guess, right? Because the word gets cut off.
Yes, it was a felony. He was convicted of a felony, and he could have faced 10 years in prison, but they sentenced him to 1 year in prison.
Well,
Photograph.
how nice of them. That was very kind, and I've been sarcastic
Yeah,
here. You know,
that's right. So how nice.
yeah. Let me specify exactly what it means. First of all, it is not just a 1 year fact. For somebody like Mr. Saucier, that is a professional and also was doing this for really as a career, his life is ruined. I mean, when he's going to finish this sentence, he's going to have a felony on his back. Probably going to have a hard time to find a job. And more important, not have any type of benefits. And all the hard work he put in 10 years in the Navy, I think the benefits are all gone. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, you're 100% right. Benefits are gone. He will have no benefits, and he will have a very tough time finding a job. He's like a mechanical engineer in the Navy, so it should be very easy to find a job on the outside, except for the felony conviction. I mean, normally people would be grabbing somebody with his skills because he's very skilled at what he does. They would be grabbing him right up and hiring him, but because he's a convicted felon, he'll be lucky to get a job that pays $10 an hour.
Yeah, this is exactly the point now I would like to remind everybody. This is not like a partisan issue. I don't care which party you are. I hope you are no party at all out there. We believe in justice. That's what we should believe. If we believe in justice, in our Constitution, and the right and wrong concept, that's all we should be worried right now. That's why sometimes I feel very sad when I see from both sides, nobody wants to talk bad about their guy. Let's start to talk with the guy right now that is in charge, okay? President Trump. First of all, I remember during the elections, during the campaign, I think it was on Fox News, President Trump was brought up, they brought him up, I think, this topic of Mr. Saucier. And he said that he wanted to do something about it. And also I realized that lately he did some, in one of his latest trips to Saudi Arabia, I guess, or somewhere overseas, in a very, good PR move, he was able to say that in few minutes he was able to free some, political prisoners or somebody overseas. What exactly has been doing President Trump since he's been elected to fulfill at least his commitment that it seems like he said before the election to try to free Mr. Saucier?
That's true. Before the election, and during the campaign, he was on the campaign stump, and he constantly mentioned my client's case, and he would get the crowd juiced up, and he would talk about my client and what an injustice this case is, and how sad this case is, that he was put in prison for a year for 6 photographs, and he repeated that over and over. So I was hoping that now that he's president, now that he would basically do something to correct this injustice, that he has pointed it out even from before the election and after the election with interviews on Fox News. Like you said, Sean Hannity asked him, are you going to do something about Kristian-saucier? And he said yes, he was going to look into that matter.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
this is...
Also, the vice president was asked specifically, are you familiar with this case? He said yes, we plan on doing something about it.
Wow.
So they claim that they're going to do something about it. We just have not seen that yet.
Yeah, I mean, this is not like I'm spending an extra day at a recreation park, okay? It's still called a military prison. Am I right or wrong? I mean...
Oh, you're exactly right. He's in there with some bad guys. I mean, this kid is not... my client, Kristian-saucier, is not prison material at all.
Yeah.
He's very small in stature, very mild-mannered individual, and very meek. He doesn't belong in prison, not one day. And one day, you're right, this has altered his entire life. He has lost everything because, he's had to pay for attorney's fees and stuff like that.
Wow.
His wife is trying to survive outside on her own, just with her and her baby. Her and his child, his 2-year-old child, they're trying to survive as best they can.
No, this is very sad. Exactly. And this is, it's not just, as I said, I would like for a moment for people out there even for the president and vice president, they're having a great life after all, to face the reality, even just 24 hours in a cage, surrounded by people that honestly, if you're not one of them, it is not going to be pretty. Let's put it this way. But also think about every day as a human being, think about the other side, your family, being alone, being defenseless, being without even the, monetary support. I mean, this is a drama. Sometimes we are so almost cynical to think, everything's just a number. Just because it doesn't apply to us, we don't really care. This is like something, an emotional drama. I believe it's like or beyond comprehension until it comes to you, happens to you. So I really want to hope, I would like to hope that all the people out there, right now listening, regardless which party, but especially if you voted for President Trump, and you can find this on video on YouTube, you just dig it out. I mean, President Trump, he was public about this situation. And more important, he could do this, fix this in a second. He doesn't need to wait another 6 months, okay? It needs to be done now, because I tell you, at this point, any hour, it's too much. And also to bring some justice, the next step would be he needs to fulfill his oath of office to enforce also the laws of this country. We have a new attorney general here. Where is he now when it comes down to at least, start to create a real case to expose and press charges against Hillary Clinton that she's walking around like nothing happened? I mean, think about it. And I don't want to spend too much on her about her right now, because we talk enough about it and mainstream media have been talking enough. And I feel sorry for you Democrats who still try to defend her, because, or you're really stupid out there, or you're under some sort of a spell. In both cases, you got to wake up, because this is ridiculous. It's disgusting that you keep defending, and you want to bring it out, the other side corruption. I don't care which corruption. Evil is not going to fix more evil. We got to stop this, and this is our duty if things are bad in this country, because it's our duty that we do not fulfill our duty to start to speak up. So right now I would like to say, everybody, one thing that I'm sure, I hope, you agree with me, we should call President Trump right now, regardless of the parties, and, of course, take the time to investigate more about this case, and I will give you also now a website, but then demand President Trump to fulfill his commitment to free Mr. Kristian-Saucier. Which website would you like to share, if you have any, where people and listeners can learn more about Kristian-Saucier?
At free chris-saucier. It's Facebook, free chris-saucier.
Okay. And I will put also a link on lovegunsfreedom.com. And after you learn about this case, I think would be the normal human thing to at least start to put your voice out, call President Trump, send an email to the White House. People say it's a waste of time. It's not. When you have millions of us, at this point, they need to start to pay a little attention. At least we must try. Now, second step, I would like to say, also send another email and say, press charges against the evil, woman that she's supposed to be right now facing charges like everybody else, called Hillary Clinton. That's the second step. But now let's focus on Kristian-Saucier. Any other thing would you like to add? Something I forgot. I'm sure there is something out there.
I'm sure there's so much that we've been through on this case. Just keep, if we could, you're right, that we need to make everybody aware, and we need to constantly barrage the White House with phone calls, and we send out mailers as much as we can, and we hope that they're reaching the right people, but we mail them as often as we can. So that's what we're asking people to do. Please go on the website, look this case up and see, read for yourself. These are all facts that I'm giving you. None of these are opinions. I mean, this guy honestly did take 6 photographs of a sub, and he's in prison for it, for something that is just absolutely absurd. It's such an injustice that it does transcend politics, like you say. Politics really should have nothing to do with this case. It just means justice, and this guy was just deprived justice all the way through the system.
Yeah, and another thing, you took this case pro bono. That means you're not even getting paid. It's not like you're doing this to make a buck. I mean, you must have studied this case. You must have felt for this case. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, you're exactly right. I spend my money on this case because I feel it is such an injustice that that it's been my passion now to try to get this person freed and try to get this injustice corrected. I think in your lifetime you only have one case that you can, or one thing that you could really make a difference on, and to me this was my case. This was a case where I grabbed onto it and said, boy, the facts are here. I really think this is a case I can help somebody out with, and I really think that this guy deserves to be free.
This is very important. As I said, the show is called Love, Guns, and Freedom, and what I'm trying to do here is not just about freedom itself, but it's also a little bit of love for our fellow humans, in this case, fellow American. And people, say, oh, I have enough problems. Guess what? Tomorrow could be your son. Tomorrow could be your daughter. When justice is dead in this country, they don't care who's going to be next. The only point is not going to be them. But any one of us, we will live like in a new state of terror, that you don't worry about anymore the laws, because there are no more laws. The law's going to be just what really they will try to throw at us. That's the bottom line. We got to reinstate justice. And how we do that, one case at a time. We need to stop evil one case at a time. And as I said, sometimes we feel little, small, we're just a regular people, that's fine. But you have the moral obligation, in my opinion, to at least to make your voice heard. And there is nothing really cost you here. Even the phone call is free. It's on our tax dollar after all. Call the White House. Let's start with that. Call Vice President. Call your congressman. Seriously, even if it's useless, he must hear from you. Okay? That's the bottom line. There is a man and a family really in peril, that their life is destroyed. And this is beyond spending 1 year in the cage. There is also the aftermath that's even worse, in my opinion. Now, talking about spending 1 year in the cage, I'm sure you meet Chris pretty regularly. Anything that is worth to share, maybe some episode of what I don't know how the prison is acting. Are they treat him like a regular guy, or they give him an extra hardship, or there's some sort of conspiracy out there? Anything happened to him that we should know?
Well, you should know that the inmates in there really treat him with great respect. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how much respect they give him, because they feel that he was unjustly convicted and that he doesn't belong there. So they treat him actually very well just because of that reason alone. I visit him frequently. He has a good attitude. He's very upbeat. But he's certainly looking forward to getting out and trying to start his life over again. His wife and his daughter is 2 years old now. He's missed a lot of benchmarks in her little life, So, when you're 2 years old, so now more than half her life, her daddy's been locked up in prison.
Yeah. As I said. And anything regarding this is a military prison. Am I right or wrong?
It is. It's not a military prison. No? It's a federal prison. So there's federal inmates from all over the country there.
Oh my God, even worse, my opinion. Because I don't know, but it sounds like, and is it a private prison or federal prison? Because, there are a lot of private prisons now that they are called federal prison, but they are privately owned. What is this?
Right. No, this is run by the federal government. It's where they put all their, whatever inmates they deem should belong there in Massachusetts.
Wow. Interesting. Well, listen, any phone number or beside the website, a way to contact you, people want to donate something or anything they can help, go ahead. I give you the floor.
If you go to @free-chris-saucier on Facebook, you'll see all of our pages there. You can see where you can donate to the cause to help Sadie and her young daughter make it through for the next couple months. And you can see, and my phone number is 518-527-4945, 518-527-4945. And if there's any assistance that you can give, please give me a call. I'd be more than grateful for anything you can help us with.
Perfect. This was Mr. Ronald Daigle Jr. is the attorney pro bono for Navy, not veteran because he's still in active duty. At least was in active duty. And this poor guy, Chris-Saucier, that you heard this story. As I said, now it's up to you. Whatever you want to do, don't forget you have a chance too. We all have a chance. At least try to do our best. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca-Zanna. This is the first hour. Do not go away. We have more important information. And of course, with that, we will go with other interesting interviews. Do not go away.
Hey, you. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve a break. Enjoy a moment of indulgence. It's time for Zanna Coffee. Guilt-free pleasure. Zanna Coffee is the organic coffee to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Only the best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world that I selected. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade certified, sustainable organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Get your coffee bag now. Don't be cheap. Life is too short and you deserve the best. Zanna Coffee.
Let's get more on this now from our senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas and former FBI special agent and ABC News consultant Brad Garrett. Welcome to you both. And Pierre, let's begin. Authorities also doing a lot to track down his weapons.
Yeah, George, good morning. Because Hodgkinson apparently had no felony convictions, he bought the weapons recovered in the shooting legally in Illinois. Sources tell us the primary weapon used in the shooting is the SKS assault-style rifle. Police also recovered a Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol. Not clear if that was used in the attempted massacre. The suspect also owned a shotgun. He apparently obtained a permit to carry a concealed weapon in the last 2 months or so, George.
And Brad, the profile of Hodgkinson filling in pretty quickly.
Exactly, George. A guy that's basically going downhill, that everything is not working in life. And what happens is, when that happens, people then tend to externalize their anger that turns to rage. And then they can justify in their own mind to go harm the people they perceive cause them their grief.
And a lot of these angry political posts directed at President Trump, directed at Steve Scalise, directed at Republicans generally, but no threats in there. So was there anything the FBI, Secret Service, anyone could have done ahead of time to stop this?
I don't think so, George. I mean, it's the First Amendment is going to carry him through. If he'd made specific threats that he was going to go actually harm the president or somebody in Congress or anyone, then someone could have moved on him. But short of that, you can pretty much say what you want to say.
And Pierre, a lot of questions now about congressional security. We know that because Steve Scalise was a member of the leadership, he had a security detail there, and they made a huge difference yesterday. But now questions again about what rank and file members need.
Yeah, one thing we heard from the congressman yesterday is that it's typically only the leadership that gets a security detail when they're outside the grounds of the Capitol. Some said if it had not been for that detail, it would have been much, much worse. I think we're now going to see congressmen consider expanding security when they're congregating outside of Capitol Hill, leaders in the group or not. Clearly, they are target, especially in this region, where we've seen a series of unstable people showing up to either the Capitol or the White House, doing everything from committing suicide or pulling out weapons, George.
Big problem, Pierre. Thomas, Brad Garrett, thanks very much.
Okay, guys and girls, you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on KTOX 1340 AM. I wanted to play this little brief clip from the ABC News, fake news. First of all, I'm still in shock about what you just heard the interview before. To think that we have two set of laws. We have two set of rule of laws. There is not even anything close to a rule of law anymore. This is called complete tyranny. That's where we are right now. So the point is, this is very disturbing. Why? It's all connected, in my opinion. First of all, we don't have any more a rule of law in this country. There is just us, the slaves. They throw the book at us. You can see that. I'll show it to you. The guy that we have rotting in jail, our Navy veterans, not even a veteran anymore, now he's going to be completely a felon for the rest of his life. Mr. Christian-saucier, we spoke with his lawyer, just because he took a couple of photos inside a submarine. There was not classified any type of details, nothing. Innocent mistake could be easily fixed with a fine or anything. No, they threw the book at him. Meanwhile, we have, of course, the Hillarys of the world. It is not just Hillary, by the way. There are many politicians out there that they pretty much have a... Look, you want to talk about other situations similar to classified information? General Petraeus, he just got a slap on his hand, a fine, and he was gone. Little guy like Mr. Saucier, bang, feloned, time in jail, life destroyed. Now, I'm bringing this situation of this shooting. There wasn't a shooting. It was an act of terrorism, in my opinion. This is what I call terrorism, when you have somebody that has political ideas that he was trying to impose on others with force, violence, and terror. James Hodgkinson, whatever it's called, who shoot Congressman Steve Scalise in Italian, and other congressmen. I mean, he shoot everybody. He was shooting everybody he could. But of course, the aim was the Republicans. Now, I'm not a fan of any party. I don't care. But I'm sure for sure I am no fan, and I despise anybody who uses violence to advance a political agenda. Okay? If you want to go to use violence, go on a field of battlefield, and that's different. Defend your life, that's different. But when you go as a coward, because, by the way, your political ideas suck, by the way. You socialist piece of crap. Tax the rich, steal other people, and you are frustrated because maybe you're a loser in your life, or maybe because things don't go right. I understand, not every time things go right. You don't need to take that on others. You don't need to point your failure and, try to point it to others. Could be politicians or the rich. The point is the rich had to work for their money. Good for them. The socialist, propaganda that is like a cancer infiltrating the mind and the hearts of our the youth, and also this guy that is not a young anymore. I mean, he's like over middle age, a senior right now, for what I understand. The point is, this is very seriously danger. This is how, tyranny started in many parts of the world. Remember Mao Zedong said, you can get political influence through to the barrel of your guns. I'm just paraphrasing it. That's what they're trying to do here. The point is, I don't care which agenda, right or wrong, you do not use violence against others, unless for self-defense, unless they come and try to harm you, or even try to get your property, or do things on your body that you don't want. That's different. But what he did, this piece of crap, it's beyond belief. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because unfortunately, this case, as much as I hate the left and right name, but it's true, the left, what used to be the Democratic Party, now it is no more the Democratic Party. It became an extremist party under the control of, let's say, globalist agendas, and they will try, they are manipulating them towards violence. I mean, I'm proud of people like Ronald McDonald, a man who's been Democrat for 50 years. He ran for Senate for the California state. And he said in my last show, I cannot be any more part of this party. This is not a Democratic Party that I signed for. Now, this is a bunch of extremist bastards looking for violence, looking for destroy, the sovereignty of this country, and also to steal our money from others. I mean, think about it. Even we go into the fact of violence as shooting somebody, but when government, somebody like Bernie Sanders or any supporter like that, believes that it's okay to tax through government, legally stealing, because that's what it is, it's a legal theft. You, as an individual, because you are successful, because maybe you work harder than other people, maybe because you are smarter, whatever it is, it's your freaking money. And now, you jealous pricks out there, you want to tax 80, 70, 60, whatever you decide. You decide how much I can keep of my money. Really? Screw you, Bernie Sanders. Screw you, socialist pigs. That's the point. Taxation is theft. That's the bottom line. People say, we need taxes for services. Guess what? I don't care what you need. I care that you don't force others legally stealing, because in this concept, you can pretty much create a new state of slavery. Think about it. If I tax you 100%, how do you call yourself? Freaking slave. Yes, you are. 100% you work for free. That's exactly what a slave did. But you got free, of course. I'll take care of you. Give you free insurance. I give you free housing. I give you free food. After all, you're my freaking slave. I need to take care of you. So 100%, do we agree or not that you're a slave? Yes, you are. Now, when in countries like, for example, France, or Italy, or Sweden, and there are many other countries out there, they start to tax you between 85, 90%, like in France. What do you call yourself? 90% slave and 10% free, right? Yes, you are. Think about it. Just use the logic. Forget about me that I'm a little irritated. Maybe you may hate me because, I don't play your socialist bullcrap. I come from Italy, a socialist country, and I despise socialism, for God's sake. I hate you with my guts, you socialist pigs. That's why I left Italy. For socialist and communist pigs. Because that's what you are, cowards who hide behind the government because you are not man enough. You don't have enough balls to go out and steal from others. I have more respect for thieves, for God's sake. You come out in front of me with a gun and say, give me your money. I have respect for you. At least you risk your life because probably you're going to get a bullet between your eyes. And we can sort it out as men. No, when you're a socialist, you're a coward. Baby cry, daddy, daddy, government, go get this money, go get her money. Because I'm a loser, I want this money. Screw you. I'm pretty harsh about this, I know. I have a lot of bad memories. That's why I left Italy. That's why I hate socialism and communism. The difference is very simple. Socialism, they steal your life by the vote. Communism, they come with the guns. But it's still the same. Think about it. And all starts with democracy. Yes, democracy. Oh, we are democracy, we are democracy. Democracy what, idiots? Democracy means that 51% of the losers out there can dictate your life. And they will decide how much money you can keep in your pocket. After all, the majority rules. Screw you. I'm an individual. That's why this is supposed to be a republic. Where everybody's right and property is supposed to be defended by the 51% losers out there. I know, I'm losing it a little bit. I'm sorry. I really mean it. This is not a joke. That's why I'm fearing because, not for me, but for really what's going to happen the next few years for who comes after us, because idiots like this piece of crap coward, James Oddington may rot in hell, wherever he is. They really think they are somehow justified to use violence for the common good. After all, this is the next level. It's called communism. As I said, Bernie will go there with the law to steal your money. And of course, if you don't pay your taxes or if you don't pay your, 90% income tax or property tax, whatever it's going to be, they will come with guns anyway. Don't worry. But this is the evolution. Start with democracy. Then you have socialism. Then you have communism. That doesn't mean that it's different from fascism. It's the same. State is your God. You, as individual, you are less than zero. That's the bottom line. So, James Hodgson, may you rot in hell. And people say, oh, you're not a good Christian. I don't give a crap. I believe people like him deserve hell. Yes, I do. Because first of all, you're a loser. You cannot even engage with your First Amendment, with your political system that we have. I know it's corrupted. I understand you're frustrated because Hillary is a thief and she also stole the election from you. I understand all that. But you don't go start killing innocents out there. That's for sure. Now, what I was playing that little segment of that useless ABC News, just to show you how prepare the propaganda, is ready to go. Assault weapon, assault rifle. Idiots. That was an SKS. Okay, SKS, 10 rounds magazine, fixed stock, no pistol grip, semi-automatic. Even if there was an AR-15 semi-automatic with pistol grip, it still is not an assault weapon, because that would be by definition something with a selective fire. These are all selective fire, they are not. These are just semi-automatic weapons. Okay? Even a freaking immigrant like myself can understand that, for God's sake. So anyway, it was just an old-fashioned SKS that you can buy. It's 10 rounds magazine. Even in California you can buy. Think about it. Okay? But guess what? As I said, let's prove the points. It is not the weapon. It is not the guns. It's the mind behind. You can have a bazooka. It's still there. It doesn't move. It doesn't shoot on its own. You can have a full automatic weapon. It doesn't matter. It's still there. But if you are behind that gun, evil person, All you need is even a slingshot. That can hurt. Yes, it will be used against you. So, the propaganda starts. They're going to start to, of course, recreate this gun control hysteria. I don't think we're getting there yet, thank God. Hopefully, at least this Trump and Congress, as much as it's useless, even the Republicans, at least when it comes down to Second Amendment, maybe one thing they will try to keep together for now. But I'm telling you, please, don't go into the spiral of violence. And I tell you something. People say, there are crazy people in both sides. I agree. Don't get me wrong. I never want to, let's say, condemn an individual a collective group of people for the, let's say, faults of an individual. Otherwise, we would fall in what the left are doing. Because that's what the left are doing. And we should use sometimes the logic. Oh, somebody used a rifle to commit a crime. Let's ban all the guns. No, that's not a way to do it. If somebody tomorrow commits an accident or is drunken driving, I'm not going to ban all the cars. Are you kidding me? Idiots. You just punish the person who broke the law. That's it. If you really want to use this logic, this democratic or this leftist stupid logic, because somebody commits a crime with a gun, we need to ban all guns. Guess what? Now we should ban all Bernie Sanders supporters to having guns. Am I right or wrong? I'm using your logic, morons. People say, you're harsh. You know what? I'm irritated. Yes, I am. Because I really feel in this country for what's supposed to be a country that when you come to this country, I remember still myself, when I had to sign the paperwork on the airplane and at the embassy. Do you support the Communist Party? Are you a member of the Communist Party? No. Now, they give you a medal if you are a communist in this country. After 8 years of Obama, we have communists in everywhere, not just in position of office and power and bureaucrats and politicians. But what scares the most out of me, the average American is getting to this mindset that it's okay to steal from others for the common good. You pieces of cowards. This is called theft. If you want to steal, grow some balls and go do it. And risk the consequences. Do not use government to steal from others or what not is yours. Okay? People say, how do we support the system? Guess what? There are different ways to support the system. First of all, let's reduce the size of government. First of all, let's stop all these illegal wars around the world. Even Trump failed us completely. We're going around bombing the crap more soldiers out there. You say, oh, Syria's not our business. Guess what? More billions. More trillions. You want to stop the debt? Shut down the Federal Reserve that is private, for God's sake. Every time they print a dollar, these bastards, is a dollar of debt. We could, as a nation, like we used to, print our own currency. So we don't need to go in debt with a private cartel of bankers. Think about it. That's how you start to get control of your finances, how you can start to stop income tax. That's how it used to be before 1913. Don't you remember that? Oh, I know. They don't teach you that at school anymore. For God's sake, are you kidding me? They teach you that you gotta pay your fair share as a good slave. Don't forget, you pay 100% of taxes or your income, you're a full slave. But you know what? After all, you're gonna pay just 75%. You're not that bad of a slave. You're a 3/4 slave. 75%, yeah, 3/4. That's what comes down when you pay everything. Now, people say, how can we support this country? Guess what? They have different systems. First of all, you don't need to pay your income like we used to. Pay for what you use. We used to have a different system before 1913, and we still have roads, we have soldiers, army, infrastructures, we pay politicians, we pay everything. Schools, better education for sure. So please, wake up. As Americans, wake up. Now, as I said, anybody out there wants to use violences, shame on you. Shame on you. You will get it. You will get it. I remind you that I don't know why in Virginia only the cops had the guns, the police escorting Scalise, but in some states now, law-abiding citizens, they're getting armed and trained. That's why we're here. That's why this is Arizona. Don't pull that crap, okay? Don't pull this stuff. So bottom line, this is the bottom line. I'm sorry for Congressman Scalise, his family, and all the other people victims. I really feel. I don't care if they were Democrats. I don't care if they were whatever party. Nobody deserves that. That's the bottom line. At the same time, we gotta learn something out of this. This is just a point of an iceberg. All this propaganda started by also Obama condoning act of violence. When you have, mobs of Antifa, whatever they call themselves, and BLM, all this crap, somehow burning and shooting and destroying property, and government and president himself not condemning them and not trying to stop them, that's what happens. You start to have people that they really think is the right thing to do. After all, we are in the right. We are doing it for the common good. That's what happens. So I think this is by design. It's just one of the first symptoms. Well, something's coming soon. They will try to impeach Trump. I'm not saying Trump is perfect, for sure. I have a lot of things I need to talk about him. But the point is, what they're trying to do here, by design, I believe, to create this sort of a civil war scenario. They got Trump in. They know that 50% of the country or more completely disgusted what we had the last 8 years. And now, they try to set him up, or maybe it's part of the setup, maybe it's part of the game, and they will try to pull it out. So we're going to have a reaction. The left is already pretty much ready to go. Even they, of course, thank God, their training sucks. I mean, did you see these people going in the desert shooting at 5-10 yards? They couldn't even hit a target. But you know what? And as I said, thank God, there was a statement from, I think, one of the police chief that was there, somehow reporting about Mr. James Hodgson shooting. His aim was poor. He could have made a disaster if he was a good marksman. And the sad thing, I can't believe, you have all that crowd, and only few police there, when I think more important what should be citizens, all of us. It's our duty. It's our right to be armed and trained. So think about it. A bastard like that start to pull something like that at Walmart. When we have, for example, in Kingman, Arizona, I see pretty much probably 30% of us carry guns. But what I can see, only God knows how many concealed. And guess what? You don't last that long. We don't need to wait for the reinforcement, okay? You start to shoot at people, you're going to get shot fast. That's the point. So that's why I encourage law-abiding American to get armed, to become armed, trained. Don't just buy a gun. Train. And don't train just at the range with a paper target like you're shooting at something that doesn't shoot back. Train realistically. Find good training. Now, if you live in Arizona, in Mojave County especially, something I do is one of the things I love to do. And I'm not doing this because I need the money. I really do it because I want to fulfill the mission that I have in my heart. To train law-abiding Americans to defend themselves, to defend their lives, their property if they have to. But more important, to defend freedom and against evil bastards like him. So, start with gun safety first. You must know how to be safe. I offer free, and I say free, I don't ask you a dime, gun safety class around Arizona, especially Mojave County. Just go to www.freegunsafety.com and join me. Then I offer Arizona concealed carry permit classes. Great deals. And I also give you a free class, for example, to single mothers. Now I'm doing a special for seniors. I want everybody we train, more important, knowing the laws, first of all, when you can or not pull a gun, following our state laws, understanding how it's lawful to carry a gun responsibly. Then, of course, I invite you to go to the next stage, training, handgun training, rifle training, for self-defense. That's how we fight evil. Okay? Yes, there's a power of prayer. That's fine. You pray your God or your gods. That's great. It's beautiful. Pray whatever you want, wherever you want. At the same time, you're still here on planet Earth. And God say, help yourself. Okay? So start training right now. People like him, like this shooter in Virginia, is not just the only one. More calm. And by the way, I don't want to generalize, as I said before. I don't like to, try to make guilty the rest of the population just because this guy is a Bernie supporter. It means every Bernie supporter is a violent. No, I don't play that game. I'm not like the leftists. Just because somebody shot somebody, committed a crime with the guns, every other gun owners must be responsible. No, I don't do that. At the same time, though, I must tell you, though, look at the statistics. The left lately uses violence much more than the right, or what you're going to call conservative movement. Starting from the streets, starting from all the different type of shooters out there. They shot mass murders. They're all registered Democrats. As I said, I don't condemn all the Democrats. I don't do that. But let's look. Something's going on there. There is a trend, scary trend. But let's not get scared. Let's get prepared. Now, second hour normally is going to be about guns. I have the emergency broadcast that I could not wait for next week. I beg you to listen to the second hour. And if you go to lovegunsfreedom.com, find also the YouTube, or at least find the segment, and please share with everybody. This is a disturbing interview that I had with a chemtrails activist from Tucson who is facing charges for terrorism just to post signs in public. These signs that are about waking up people about chemtrails. You may agree or not about chemtrails, that's not the issue. I don't care. But please listen to this interview. So what happened to him? If you didn't know what's happening in America, you maybe believe that this guy lives in North Korea or China. I don't even think in Russia they do these things anymore. The atrocity is being facing. Please listen to this interview, the second hour, I beg you. I do beg you. If you want to support the show, this is not socialism. We don't steal your money through government. We ask you politely. If you want to support me, that's fine. If you don't want, that's fine anyway. But I appreciate your help. Support the station, support KTOX. Me as an independent producer, I need your help too. You can download any of my songs for just 99 cents. Just go to www.zanna.us. Or maybe if you want to drink some coffee, great organic coffee, I produce it. Go to www.zannacoffee.com. ZANNA coffee.com.
It is time. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now with Arizona Concealed Carry Permit by Zanna Enterprises, LLC. Become a more responsible and educated gun owner. Carry legally concealed in 35 states. Carry permitted in restaurants where alcohol is served. Learn where and how you can legally carry a firearm in Arizona. Learn where you can use deadly force. Where can you display your gun or not for self-defense? Learn how to deal with law enforcement while carrying a firearm. Learn how to be aware of your surroundings and how to avoid a confrontation. Buy your gun without waiting for a background check. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now. Go to www.azccw.us. Go to www.azccw.us. Free for single mothers and people with disabilities. It is time. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now with Arizona Concealed Carry Permit by Zanna Enterprises, LLC. Become a more responsible and educated gun owner. Carry legally concealed in 35 states. Carry permitted in restaurants where alcohol is served. Learn where and how you can legally carry a firearm in Arizona. Learn where you can use deadly force. Where can you display your gun or not for self-defense? Learn how to deal with law enforcement while carrying a firearm. Learn how to be aware of your surroundings and how to avoid a confrontation. Buy your gun without waiting for a background check. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now. Go to www.azccw.us. Go to www.azccw.us. Free for single mothers and people with disabilities.
Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on KTOX 1340 AM and also, of course, on 104.1 FM and also on the internet on lovegunsfreedom.com. Now, this is a very important show for me. They're all important, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I realize really that some of my guests, many of my guests that I had the last few years, they're all facing a hard time when it comes down really being persecuted by the justice. I mean, I had a lot of people here that they were on the air with me, and they're all now facing some sort of a prosecution and persecution, in my opinion, by the criminal system. Starting from the Bundys, Pete Santilli, as a reporter, still there facing federal charges. I mean, my gosh, this is scary. This is now coming to a new level, to a local level. I had on my show for few times, let's put several times, an activist from Arizona, Tucson area. Is an activist when it comes down to try to wake up people about the dangers and the danger of weather modification, geoengineering, call it chemtrails. I mean, he's been doing this for years. He's a peaceful man. I never met him in person, but I've been talking to him over the phone for, at this point, a few years. And I know, more important, I follow his posts, I follow his YouTubes, and all he does, he goes out there with a video camera and trying to somehow, let's say, educate people on what's happening right now in our skies. That is our right, our First Amendment right, to exercise, this right to warn people, even to say things you may not agree. That's not the point. The point is nothing wrong with that. Now, a few weeks ago, at this point, almost a couple of months ago, I got an email, or even better, it was a Facebook message from somebody that he was telling me, hey, Chris-Haskell is in jail. He's been arrested. Last time I had him on the show, I know that somehow the Tucson police, they were looking for him. I didn't, I understood there was something connected to his family. It was some sort of a family situation. After all, in Arizona, all you have to do, get two people, get together and say that you need mental help, and technically they can lock you up. But honestly, I didn't know the details. I know that something was going on. But now, when a few weeks ago, somebody called me that, hey, he got arrested, and what are the charges? It seems like it's something connected to terrorism. What? I couldn't believe it. So I was trying to reach him, but of course I didn't know even where to call. Now he's out of jail. I know he's waiting for trial, I guess, but I would like to get him on the air. He can give us more details, because what I'm really concerned, as I said, I don't know the old facts. We'll find out soon. Right now, all you have to do is somehow, maybe, just try to exercise your right, and people can get afraid of what you're saying, or can look at you like you're trying to maybe, freak them out, and they can call you a terrorist, according to the book. I don't know. Let's find out. But this seems very serious, because the charges he's facing, they are not a game, not a joke. Chris-Haskell, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Chris, first of all, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right now.
Okay, are you which part of the state? Are you still in Tucson?
Yes, absolutely. In Tucson,
okay. The audio is kind of weird out of the blue. I don't know why. I hope we can get it better. I would like to give you the floor. Last time we talked on the air, you were doing fine. I know the police in Tucson were looking for you, but it didn't seem nothing really serious. You didn't even think there were any charges. What happened exactly to you? What are the charges? Why they arrest you?
Well, I'll try the best I can.
I need to call you, Chris, I'm sorry. I need to call you back. Stay there. We need to try something here. I call you back. Stay there. Okay, this is weird. As I said, maybe it always happens when I have strange interviews. I don't know. Maybe just I need to buy new computers, but I have a brand new computer. Everything was working fine. Let's see. I call him again. Sounds seem okay. Chris,
are you there?
You hear me better now?
I can hear you fine, but if I'm coming in bad, then what you can do is you can call my my home number.
Okay, so far we are good. Stay there. Don't move. Okay, continue. When did you get arrested, and what were the charges?
Okay, well, basically where it started, even before I got arrested, is when they'd already apparently gotten a search warrant. And let me read the charges to you.
Yes,
right
please.
Off of the paperwork, okay? And I have three of these counts, 3 counts of terrorism, class 2 felonies, which is basically equivalent to manslaughter.
Oh my
you
God.
Murder someone.
Wow.
Okay, then I also have 3 count 4, which is class 4 felonies, three of the Class 4 felonies, which are manufacturing, possessing, transporting, selling, or transferring a prohibited weapon. Okay, and those will get real simple, too. Those are all referring to what happened for my first three charges. And what they're talking about is, they say it's Cabazol.
Oh, my gosh.
Cabazol. And basically, what I know I put in my house all over the place is DE, powdered DE, diatomaceous earth. Okay?
Okay, well, did you put powder? What is this powder story?
Powder, I use it in my cupboards. I use it, in any time, if you've used diatomaceous earth, you use it in your cupboards because it kills the bugs.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I have it too.
Yeah, and I eat it at the same time. Yeah. I like to eat a tablespoon of it every day.
Yeah. And
it's
oh my God.
made it silica.
Oh,
so those are my three charges at the end because I had Cabazol at my house, which is diatomaceous earth that they sell all over, everywhere.
Oh my
perfectly
God.
legal.
Oh my
okay.
God.
So the first three counts, terrorism, are, let's see here, I'll read it to you specifically. On or about the 7th day of March, 2017, Christopher Haskell intentionally or knowingly placed in a public or private place a simulated infectious biological substance or a radiological agent with the intent to terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass in violation of ARS 13-2308.01.
Oh my God.
So there you got it. It is a simulated infectious biological substance. And what occurred here, to let you know, Luca, is basically whoever set me up, they took three of my signs, and these were signs that I had put in my alley to be picked up by whoever wants to pick them up. I've for years had that policy. I put signs in my backyard.
Yes.
And people pick them up so they get free signs. And whoever did this put some powder, and I don't know if it's like what I was talking about before, DE. I don't know what it is, but they said it was Cabazol, and it is it wasn't threatening. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't hurt anyone.
Exactly.
So it's no poison.
Yeah.
So somebody put on the back of three of my signs, and they wrote something on there like, "Don't get on skin." And I said, well, I kept arguing the fact that, okay, first of all, I didn't put up those signs. There was only three signs.
Yeah.
That's why I have three counts.
Yeah.
Right? Three signs that had this powder on the back of them. So, I don't know what exactly happened, but I'm assuming probably the police department had put them on there, or better yet, somebody that maybe the person that does pick them up normally from me, he just got tired of people taking down the signs. I don't know, but I'm sure whoever wrote that on the back will not be on my writing, and they have no proof. I very openly admit that I made all the signs that are around Tucson.
Yeah.
I make all of them myself. And then I distribute them all over. I give them to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I also put them up myself.
And
well, they're trying to say that I put this biological attack
on the
back of signs. Yeah.
This is serious. I mean, somebody's really trying to throw their book at you because, I'm no lawyer. I'm no judge. I'm just a regular guy. But first of all, I mean, this is really trying to push something to the envelope to a way that it's almost fun if it wasn't so serious. Because first of all, as you said, you didn't do that. Anybody can do that. The sign's out there. Anybody can put that powder on top. And more important, it never said that this powder was anything biological or anything, let's say, dangerous.
Nope.
It was just powder. People can think also there could be flour. If you want.
Yeah, they tested it. It had nothing that burns, nothing that hurts people, no harmful substance.
So exactly, you want to use any type of dangerous substance, no chemical substance. So even if you were I mean, the point is they're trying to push what? The intent of terrorize people. Wait a second.
Yeah.
You never said that is going to be a bomb or it's going to explode. You just said don't touch it. Or he said, whatever he said that. But my point here now, I mean, I think if you do a bank robbery, you don't get this sort of a treatment. I mean, they don't give you all these charges probably. You're going to get over with much better. I mean.
Yeah, you wait till I tell you what happened. Wow.
Go ahead, please.
They did a lot.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, when it came down to it, the way they initiated it is they had gotten warrants for my dad's house where I live with my dad, and our cabin at Mount Lemmon, and the man, the old gentleman that I take care of. I'm a caregiver for him, and I run his business for him, basically. And they did a few things here. They went to his house, they searched it and dumped everything out. When they came to my dad's house first, they used armored vehicles. They pulled up with armored vehicles, used a bullhorn, and they called out my dad to come outside. Now, I was not at home. I was at work. I was in Sahuarita.
Oh, my gosh.
Delivering for the city of Tucson. And so they called him out, come out with your hands up, and they had the house surrounded, and they had two armored cars. So my dad came out immediately, and he left the door wide open, and then he basically proceeded to be handcuffed in his own front yard at age 87. 87 years old, handcuffed him in front of his house for about almost 3 hours.
Oh, my God.
And then after they handcuffed him, and he goes, Chris isn't here, there's no one in the house, okay? Don't hurt the dogs. And the door was wide open, okay? So then they proceeded to break out the front windows of the house and entered the house through the broken windows.
I don't believe the door was open. I mean, what are you kidding me?
Yes, the door was open, and one of my neighbors witnessed this as well as my dad, and he's like, what is going on? And he goes, sir, can Mr. Haskell come over to my house? And they said, stay out of this, go away.
Jesus.
Don't talk to us.
Jesus.
And, wow. And then they proceeded to destroy the house. They went in to my house, to my room, and they couldn't find anything. Imagine that. Out of all this work, nothing in there except for one sign showing, and I'll check my YouTube channel, okay? I admit making the sign, and then they took a sign stencil. They took out, in our greenhouse area, they took all my sign making material, dumped it out on the ground, piled it all up, broke it up. Then they cut off all our locks to sheds I have out back. They opened them up, pulled all of it out. There was nothing in there they wanted, so they left those alone. Then they went to the trailer. My dad, I have storage in our trailer, and just boxes of all kinds of crap shit that's in storage. They took and dumped all of them upside down, opened all the cabinets, pulled all the trailer.
Okay, listen.
It looked like
Chris, let me stop you 1 second. You know, I understand that your emotional state, but I need to send this interview through the radio. Try to give me a language that is FCC approved. Otherwise, I need to.
I apologize.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
for me, you can talk like you want. I don't care. I understand the frustration. Otherwise, I need to spend 6 hours editing here. That's the only problem.
Yeah. Okay.
So please, just use the word S, little s, okay? 2450.
Yes.
Try to write down when you talk. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, so after they destroyed the entire house, I mean, they went from the kitchen and opened up all the cabinets, pulled stuff out. My room looked like 20 kids had gone in and vandalized me. I mean, it was bad. All my camera stuff was dumped on the ground and all boxes unloaded.
Jeez.
To where it was damaged. Everything was damaged. Then they proceeded, before they entered, they beat off the cameras. Get this, beat them with billy clubs.
Oh my God!
At our house, beat the cameras down, cut the wires off of the cameras. Then, when they were all done, they took the security system with them. They took my dad's security system and camera system with them, and they left the cameras all smashed up on the ground.
This is like
unbelievable.
This is like a gang. This is like worse than a gang. You know, I have more respect at this point for gangs of criminals because at least you have better chance to defend yourself. I mean, where are these people?
Yeah, these were, who came was the FBI, the bomb squad.
Oh my God.
The sheriff's department and the Tucson Police Department. And then, of course, the FBI. The FBI were in charge of the total investigation.
This is so
sad.
They
went from there to calling me. They called me and I answered my phone.
Yeah.
And they told me, I need to meet with you. And I said, no problem. I'll meet with you. I'm working right now. And they go, well, we need to meet with you kind of right now. And I said, am I under arrest? They said, no. Gosh, no. Okay, if I'm not under arrest.
Yeah, right.
I'm working. And they go, no, we need to meet with you now. And I go, well, I got your number. I'll talk to you later. And I hung up.
Yeah.
Because I was in Sahuarita delivering.
Yeah.
And so it took a few days for them to find me. And when they did, they blocked off an entire mile off on between Broadway and 22nd, from Columbus to Swan.
Oh my
and
God.
No in and out of it. And they brought the bomb squad, the detectives, the FBI agents. They had Homeland Security agents there. When I got caught, they sent dogs in and dragged me out. And my leg was just severely bitten bad. They messed it up. They did not find nothing on me. They checked our house and every way they possibly could. They even went in the attic. They opened up all the storage boxes in the attic, dumped them out. I go, what? These people, excuse my language, but it was crazy, and they found nothing. Out of all the search warrant items, they took my computer, they took my vehicle. They didn't have, to this day now, it's been 12 weeks, have not given back the vehicle that I was driving, and it was a work van owned by the man who owns the business that delivers for a business. As of yesterday, we quit our job because we have no vehicle. Wow. We are now lost his job as of yesterday. Because they were holding on and we couldn't get the FBI. They will not release the vehicle.
This is like, if I didn't know you, and of course I know it's true, if I knew somebody say something like that, I thought it would be maybe North Korea, maybe China. I don't even think Russia does this stuff anymore. They're much more civil. I mean, this is way beyond. They know that you're a good guy. They know that you are not a danger.
Yeah.
They know that. I mean, even let's say you don't need to be a genius to see when you have a real criminal out there, when you have somebody who's just an activist, a young man who's just trying to exercise.
No criminal history.
I mean,
nothing.
Exactly. You didn't do any type of previous record. I mean, you're just a guy that, let's say, exercises his right of First Amendment. That's it.
And I love people. That obviously I wouldn't do all the work that I do for free.
This is insane. This freaks me out. Freaks me out. At the same time, makes me feel very, I don't know, sad to think it's happening in our country. And
yes.
I'm telling you, this is like a worse than police state that we've been talking all these years. This is all happening and coming real in our face in the state of Arizona.
Yes.
I mean, what the heck?
Yeah.
What about the sheriff? I mean, the sheriff, after all, was a part of all this too. I mean, maybe they have a little more common sense than the feds. I don't know. Why. What do you think is behind all this? They need just to justify their budget. They need to create some sort of a fear into people, to create an enemy so they can justify their paycheck. Or maybe there is really some sort of an agenda why they want to do this to you. What do you think? I have no idea at this point.
Well, and I'll give you some insight and give everyone some insight, there's two main reasons. And yes, it's because they know who I am. They know quite well. Over the years, I inform a lot of people in crazy ways, in ways that just blow away what anybody could think somebody can do. So anyway, they wanted me to shut up. But then you got number two is my sister. Basically, has always hated me all her life. That I won't even get into that, but just, they have no relationship there. And then now we're getting to the point where my dad's getting old and he owns Mount Lemon property up there. And they, basically her and my brother are thinking about how much money this is worth, this Mount Lemon property. So literally and I have it in the police reports, she told them, this is why they abuse the heck out of me. When they got me, they beat me down and kicked me in the back of the neck and while I'm attached to a dog.
Gee.
And the reason why, she told them that I had hand grenades, that I had multiple weapons, and that I am the next Jared Loughner.
Oh my God.
Because she wants to see me go down and my dad sell his property and she gets to turn the thing into money.
So you have evidence. One second. Because when you mention somebody, I need to have, of course, this is what you're saying, and I don't know the other side. My point is, in the police report, you have this as evidence, you're saying?
Yeah, the evidence that she said that I am crazy, that I'm psychotic.
Wow.
And that's all she has. It's her opinion. Her opinion.
But, even if you were psychotic, okay, even if you were a little crazy, whatever you want to say, I mean, this is like, I don't even think in Iraq, when they sent raids in let's say, so-called terrorist homes, they do this type of treatment. Yeah. I mean, this is insane. Seriously.
Well, it didn't stop. It did not stop there. They went to Mount Lemon, and they immediately went to my underground area where I had built an underground thing to store stuff. They went down there immediately. They kicked in all the doors at our cabin at Mount Lemmon. They went with the sheriff, who, I got to say this, he had the key to our cabin because we already gave it to the sheriff in case you have a fire when you're not there. They kicked in both doors. He searched the cabin. He has on the orders here, and I've got the search warrant. It says bombs, grenades, explosives, all that kind of stuff. And they didn't find nothing, not one thing, not even and they're searching in any place they can search. And they ripped all my stuff out, opened every box, and dumped it on the ground. And then took all my food storage, opened it up, and left it open to the rodents.
Wow, this is so sad.
Yeah.
This is sad. This is beyond sad. I'm telling you. These people who are doing these things, are they humans? I mean, forget about, following the orders is one thing. One thing is enjoying doing something that to another human being, when they know, by the way, if you really believe in justice, if you really believe in defending the system that we're supposed to be under the rule of law, you are innocent until proven guilty. And to do the things that done to you, I mean, I wouldn't do these things that a person that was already guilty, for God's sake. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, this is insane. I mean, there's a point that, you want to punish somebody, that's fine, but don't take it on their family, okay? Don't take it on the properties of their family. Let's start with that, Now, I'm sure they're going to be listening to this recording. I'm sure you're under surveillance. I'm sure that somehow they have a budget created to justify. I mean, they need to justify their budget, so they will go after people like you. Who knows? Maybe one day people like me, just because I'm on the air, just because I'm talking to you, just because I'm giving a voice. And I'm here. I have to do this. This is my duty. At least give you the chance to talk, for God's sake. And as I said, I hope there is still justice somewhere. I hope there is still, in the course, there's still going to be a jury who have a heart, who have a brain, But my point is now, how did you get out? Do you have a lawyer?
I do have a lawyer. He's a very good one, actually. The problem I have right now is he hasn't been paid but a small percentage, and it's starting to wear on him. But he said there's 5 agencies against me here now: FBI, the NSA.
Jesus, NSA?
The bomb, yes, NSA. I saw actual guys labeled NSA on their shirt when I was being dragged out of the house.
Oh my God!
And then NSA. We got FBI. You got Bomb Squad, Sheriff's Department, and Tucson Police. And I didn't even tell you what. Now, they continued on from there. They went to that old man that I take care of's property. He rents out in Marana a house to someone. They went and raided that place, just came in, and surrounded them, came in and searched the place. Then they went on, and by the way, at my cabin at Mount Lemmon, when I went to clean it up, when I finally got out, then I tried to ride my quad, and I flipped over. It went crazy and sputtered, and it flipped over and broke my ribs.
Oh my
and
God.
Cracked my skull 2 weeks ago. And it's because they put sugar in the gas tank. There was about 2 cups of sugar.
Oh
I put it on a video, and I showed they had baggy corners in the gas tank with it, and the sugar all came back. It was just sitting at the bottom of the tank, and unbelievable. So I broke my ribs and cracked my skull because of that.
Jesus, this is
Sheriff's Department doing that.
This is it really freaks me out. I've been in contact the last few years with people that, really, I know they had no previous criminal records. They've just been exercising their First Amendment right, and now they are facing, like you, charges that I don't even think Charles Manson he was treated like that. Seriously, they give him more respect probably. But I don't know, my friend. This is it brings me speechless. Now, question is, when is your day in court? When you have your day in court? Do you ever going to have a day in court?
Okay. Yeah, I've already been twice, but it's just, the beginning stuff. But where I'm at right now is, my next court is next week. And I'm going to find out, once again, they did indict me on a grand jury. And, basically, we're going to see what we can do. I can't really say what exactly what I'm going to do here, because I'd be giving out some information to the wrong people, but we're going to fight it back pretty hard, and I think we're going to quash it right away.
Well,
but you never know.
At least I just
they have nothing. they have nothing.
I know, and they know
nothing.
that, but at the same time, they're destroying your life. They're destroying the way you can make a living. I mean, they're destroying also your properties. I mean, this is like, as I said, this is like a technique that I think the mafia has much more ethics when it comes to that. At least they normally leave out family members. If they want to kill you, they go after you, but they don't touch your mother or father, okay? They try to avoid that. At least the old-fashioned mafia. This seems like beyond any type of, I don't believe it, but I believe it because I know it's true. But it's hard to make it sink in. I'm telling you, my friend, this is unbelievable. You know, now, I want to give you from outside, the way I look at this, because I believe that there is no justification just because maybe, as you said, and as your report you read, that your sister may have said something or not. That's not enough to justify this sort of, let's say, display of force, of intimidation, all these agencies. I mean, I don't even think they do this on a raid on Osama bin Laden. They did this treatment. Seriously. First of all, I don't believe about that. It never happened, but that's another story. But regardless, I believe you represent exactly let's say, at least in this part of the world, this part of the Southwest, one of the people that, has been doing for a long time, maybe more than the average, exposing something that they don't want us to talk about it. It's called weather modification. It's called chemtrails, whatever you want to call it. It's called these programs that we know that they are not on the open, and we know that they are potentially can really kill us, because the reality is, whatever they are spraying, it is not vitamin B. It is not something biological compatible with our body. We know that. So I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to set up an example and crush you. So everybody's going to be afraid. Nobody's going to speak anymore. And probably all going to be back home and not even try to do what Chris-Haskell used to do, posting signs out or talking about chemtrails on YouTube all day. I believe that's what really is behind, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yep, that is it. I mean, really, my YouTube channel, in my opinion, is nothing compared to what I do in reality here in Tucson. When I do interviews right now, I've been doing news stories that the news doesn't cover. I've been doing that for over 10 years, and I've been talking all different kinds of subjects, not just the chemtrails, but that ended up being my main thing. But as far as that goes, they want me to shut up because I have affected so many people that when I do interviews and ask them, have you seen the sign around Tucson? I'm at a rate of 50% of Tucsonans. That's 500,000 people that have seen my signs. Now, they may not understand them fully. They may not, agree with them. I don't know, but have seen my signs, yes. And I go out of my way to make sure that there's a lot of signs. I put in the neighborhood of 20,000 plus signs where I make them, and a lot of them I end up putting on by myself, but a lot of other people also put them up.
Wow.
20,000 plus signs.
Listen, all I can do from my part, I'm just a humble little local radio show guy, but I believe the moment that we get afraid, the moment that we fear this intimidation, we lost. We lost more than just our country. We lose our dignity. We lose our soul. We lose even why we're supposed to call ourselves Americans. So all I can do right now, but I really want to do it the best I can, I want to bring you on the show here, on the air, understanding the consequences. I understand that I'm talking here of things that, with people that, as I said, the mafia probably they look like Boy Scouts compared to these guys. I do understand. I don't care. This is my duty as an American. It's my duty as also a member of the media to give you the microphone. I wish they had the decency to come on the air too. Somebody wants to come on the other side, FBI, NSA, whatever agency you are, Tucson Police. Maybe you have something that I don't know. Maybe it's something that we need to know more about Chris-Haskell. Maybe you have something really important that we need to understand. I'll be happy to give you the microphone. The point is, I wish. At the same time, I hope you can continue to bring this out. I hope you contacting other radio shows out there.
Well, I know, no, I haven't. And that I might need to do. I haven't talked to the news because, of course, they're going to turn it against me. But I am going to be doing a big fundraiser type event for here in Tucson that we're going to have a bunch of musicians put on. And that'll help pay for my lawyers. And the biggest pursuit here is they gave me what I read to you at the beginning, which was my charges.
Yeah.
Think about this now. They gave me on a golden platter what I can charge them with. Because here in Pima County, apparently, it is illegal to, with intent to terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass, it is illegal to intentionally or knowledgeably place something in a public place that is a simulated infectious biological substance or radiological agent. What do you think about that? Would you, do you, sir, get intimidated, terrified, threatened, or harassed by when you look up and see this spray?
At least all I know that unfortunately there are two different set of rules. For us, the slaves, and then people like Hillary Clinton or people with the many times that they have a uniform. I'm sorry, but this is true. They apply different rules. For example, let's say a police officer beat up somebody. They just get fired. If you do that, you're gonna get probably charged with assault. I mean, that's the reality. I just hope, as you said, your lawyer, and more important, the public opinion. As I said, guys, you don't need to believe or not about chemtrails, weather modification. This is not about this. This is about anymore now freedom or tyranny. This is about between the rule of law or the rule of just intimidation. I mean, what type of America do you want to live? Like something like in some sort of banana republic or East Germany during the Cold War? Or, this is scary beyond belief. Seriously. And as I said, I don't care. This is anymore. It is no more about fear. It's about fear for me, for the next generation, because this is what the taste that you're facing right now. This is going to be the average day for the next generation of our new Americans out there, the new young Americans. The next 10 years is going to be probably a regular day, in hell. You didn't pay your ticket. Guess what? You're a terrorist. We will come down with a SWAT team. You didn't pay your library book or whatever. They will use everything to somehow fill up these private prisons. And of course, and to, let's say, justify these budgets for homeland security, for terrorism, they need to create the illusion that there is really something bad. And if they don't have anything, they will mix up something. I really believe that. Listen, how long did you spend in jail? Let's talk about that. Weeks, how many months? I don't know.
I spent almost 11 weeks in jail.
Oh my God! Where did you go exactly? What was a county jail?
County jail, correct. It was kind of interesting because I took it on as an experience that God put me in there so I can get to a lot of the people that I normally can't get around, that I can't touch before me, so I can inform them. And I informed a lot of people. I had I felt like a popular businessman where they're like, hey, I need to talk to you. You're the guy I need to talk to. And I'm like, well, that's good, but there's two people in front of you. As soon as I'm done with them, everyone was like, it was interesting. I got a standing ovation by my entire pod in Pima County clapping when I was released. I was quite amazed. I didn't see that for anyone else.
So the point is, at least you had, because when you go in jail and you are not a criminal, I mean, two things can happen. One, some of them say, after all, he's a good guy. They feel a little sorry for you. The other thing, you're surrounded by a bunch of coyotes or wolves, and they look at you like a sheep. So, after all, people that they could be really bad people. And, sometimes they don't feel that compassion about your situation. They don't care. They just like to probably, have somebody to slave around. So did you have any bad experience, or you were lucky enough to have decent human beings around you?
Well, they treated you like crap in jail. It was a bad experience. And then I had high blood pressure, all kinds of issues. They kept the medical team helped me. They were all right. But, I had to go to the hospital before they could take me to jail. I spent 4 hours just stitching up my legs, putting a bunch of stitches in my legs.
I know, but my point is, first of all, the prison population, the other inmates, did you have any bad experience? I mean, sometimes people can go to jail and never get out because they beat them up, they kill them. You never know.
Yeah. No, the people were really good, actually, and a lot of people protected me. I had some guys went after me, but basically, I met a lot of good people, and I claimed that, at all the activism I do on the outside, the people that I met in there, on the majority, were a lot smarter and woke up than anyone I meet doing my activism on the outside.
I'm glad.
They were some good people.
Well, I'm glad at least that's a good start. What about the, let's say, the professionals at the job, the guards? They were respectful, they were professional, or do you have some sort of...
No, some of them were really bad. Some of them were bad. I mean, I watched guys, they were just doing stuff that was bad. And they treat you like garbage, just total garbage. Throw sandwiches away in front of you and go, if you pick those up, you're going to be charged with new charges.
Wow.
It's like, what? You guys are weird. Just, they call you out. I got called out a bunch of times. And then I got beat up in jail. Because I didn't get in a fight with a black guy. So then the white people came to me and said, you got to go and beat him. And I said, stay out of my fucking business. And they came and beat me.
Oh my God!
So I ended up with two black eyes, looked like a raccoon.
That's so
and
sad.
They had put me in a hole.
Sad. That's so sad. That's so sad. On top of everything, that's like, I tell you, I'm really, how you want to say, I'm proud of you for the strength that you have inside, because I don't know, an average person, how could you handle all this drama, this emotion, this physical abuse, this emotional abuse. I mean, this is like to see your life destroyed, and you still have the strength to fight back and to talk, and this is pretty amazing. Maybe they want to just drive you crazy, and you jump in, into some sort of in the river, and they, I want to be sure you're on record. You don't want to kill yourself, right?
Yeah, no, sir. And as a matter of fact, that is not an option for me. And what you just said is so correct. I mean, most people, I don't know how they could handle this. This is bad, and then it's even worse. I haven't put in all the details, but they're going in they everything trying to make it bad. They're telling the old man that I take care of. They sat him in a room. The bomb squad guy sat him in a room and says, "You need to distance yourself from him." Telling this old gentleman that I've been taking care of for 10 friggin' years.
Wow.
And then so now they still hold him in his vehicle and his business. We just had to quit his job, so closing the business. It's unbelievable. What they're they're following me. They're following anyone that comes to my house for 2 days. They gave me a ticket the second I pulled out in someone else's vehicle, and they said, "Mr. Haskell, let me see your ID." And I said, "How the heck do you know my name? You were in a meeting this morning?" Yeah.
Wow.
To tell the FBI to give me back my ID and I can show you a driver's license, because they still have my vehicle, my keys to the city of Tucson. They've kept the vehicle. They've took all my computers.
Jeez.
They have all my hard drives, all my family pictures. They have every copy of them. And there's nothing on the computers. Nothing. They have nothing against me except that I make signs.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That is really disturbing. Is you need, my humble opinion, you need to bring this to awareness to as many people as you can. I'm just a humble local radio show. I hope now with the internet we can reach even more people. I will do a YouTube, try to share with everybody out there. It doesn't need to be just a community about chemtrails or weather modification. I'm talking about any human being out there that believes that there is still justice in America. Or at least we want to somehow stand for justice. That's all I can say. Nothing else. Nothing else. I mean, I don't want any type of, let's stay with the rule of law. Let's start to see, let's look at this guy. Not even a serial killer would be treated like that. If you were the real terrorist, from some country that you can never pronounce, I'm sure they would give you much more dignity and more respect. Seriously. I mean, what they're doing to you, what they've done to you, it's beyond belief. For an American person, I mean, it's unbelievable happening on this soil. How can people help you? Do you have a website? Do you have a PayPal? You have something? I don't know. Whatever you have.
We did, I have my email and it's Haskell Films. It's HASKELLFILMZ @yahoo.com. But that is also the name of my YouTube channel, Haskell Films with a Z on the end. And that is also my Facebook. We did set up a GoFundMe page, and they have shut that off.
Of course.
They got to like $180, and then they said no more. It is stopped. I need some help setting something up. I'm gonna have to set up another one, and what we're gonna do soon here is an event in about 3 weeks from now. We're gonna do an event for me to try and come up with something to pay my lawyer, and he'll get me off of these charges.
What type of money we're talking about for this lawyer?
I need to pay him another $5,000. He's charging $10,000 because he's a very good lawyer.
Oh, it's a good price.
And he knows what he's dealing with it, but 5 agencies is what I'm against.
$10,000, it's a steal. For the charge that you're facing, that's nothing. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, I agree, but I have no money. They've taken my vehicle. So I gave him $2,500, and we need to give him more.
I mean, listen, the point is, this is not an impossible numbers. If people start to donate even $20, $30 a person, I'm sure we can help you out. More important, when you're back into life, even the attorney can understand. You can have to get your assets back. You can sell some stuff. But this is beyond. I mean, these people need to find accountability. Forget about, getting your stuff back. I mean, this is, I can't believe it. I mean, seriously, I'm shocked right now.
Yeah, and when they show what they found of me, I mean, it's people be reading it going, you're kidding, though. Yeah, they looked in every way possible, and they didn't even find nothing. I didn't have a single firecracker, not anything explosive, no guns, nothing.
Jeez.
Yeah, they kept asking me, where's your guns? I said, none of your business.
Oh, my God. Well, all I know, listen to me. You have to be strong, be smart, be civil like you've been doing, and at that point, I hope as soon as possible you're going to have a chance to face other human beings beside the judge and the prosecutor called jurors, and try to get this in front of a jury that just a regular brain. You don't need to be super smart, just a regular brain. What's happening here? It's ridiculous. They should discharge you immediately. So remind me again, what is the next date in front of a jury?
Well, jury, I don't know that, but I know that I'm going to court next week, and that's I don't know exactly what that's for. He's fighting them back pretty good. So the last time was something to try and get my vehicle out.
I hope you can get as many, as I said, of media, independent media. Doesn't matter which website, doesn't matter which radio, everything you can. Go out at this point. Of course, I'm not your attorney. Your attorney listen what he said, because everything you say can be used also in court against you. Remember that. I mean, the show may be subpoena. They may take the recording and just using it. All I can say, talk to your attorney. At the same time, my humble opinion, whatever they done to you, it is very, very, not even, forget about no humane. This is, I don't know how to explain it. I don't have the right word. Maybe my English is too limited. It is sad. It's a sad day in America that this is happening to another American, especially when I know that I'm sure many of these people have a family, have a son, have a daughter. I would like to say to you guys, is this the America you want your children grow up one day? All this is normal. I mean, you're supposed to be man to defend the law, to defend the Constitution, to defend the rights of people, not to go and act like bullies and destroy innocents' life. How can you do that? How can you go sleep at night? I mean, a paycheck, it could never justify this. I mean, you can get away for today. You're going to live in eternity with this, what you've done. I mean, that's why I feel sorry for them. I'm sorry. I feel sorry beyond to be as American people, but as a human beings with a soul. How can you justify one day when you go in front of God or whatever gods you believe, or even if you don't believe in God, in your own sense of a human being, how can you justify that yourself when at night you go to sleep, brush your mouth and look at yourself in the mirror? Seriously, how can you spit yourself in the face? I would do that. I could not live with this sort of memories, to ruin somebody's life when I know that person, first of all, so far is innocent, because everybody's supposed to be innocent before proven guilty, but I'm sure they know that you're just a regular guy. Probably that, maybe you spend too much time talking about these things, but that's fine. That's your right. You know that you've done nothing. They know when there are bad people out there, real bad people. They know who are the really bad people. They know that you're just a regular guy. So that's my sad thing. I really feel sorry for them too, believe it or not. I feel very sorry. Even I shouldn't probably. Listen, I want to give you the last 60 seconds. Whatever you want to say, one more time, PayPal, phone number, website, you got the floor.
Okay, well, just, you can see my YouTube channel is my main way to talk to people. And you can see the main videos on there about what happened and where it's going from here. And then you'll see my UCare site, but I said that one is not operating. But shortly, I will be doing an event, and we're going to set up some kind of a funny page, and we're going to try to come up with loyalty. And just have a lot of good people connect with me, and thank you for what.
Of course, now, of course, the situation the sound starts to go away. Listen, Chris, thank you very much, okay? Thank you. Don't go away. Stay there 1 second. Okay, you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. I tell you, this show for me, sometimes it's like almost having a knife in my heart. Because it's not just a show. It is not something I'm talking about things and then I go back home and do my life. This is life. These things stay with me because I know they're real. Because I know it's like I'm walking through the forest and I meet victims of wolves. And now the wolves out there. And it's getting more and more like this. I'm really concerned about what's happening to this country. I'm concerned with what's happening not just to the next generation, what's happening right now to us. We gotta stop this. I mean, seriously. I mean, we have a government that is normal government. This is like, I don't know. I'm sure there are some decent people out there. I know. There are some good people in government that they want to do their things, the right things. But where are they now? Please. If you're out there, do something. I mean, you cannot destroy just people's life like it's a game, like a video game. There is no way to put them back together, these lives. You can fix stitches. You can somehow, fix a broken arm. But when you have your mind, your soul destroyed, your life, your home, your work, how do you start again? The sad thing is, they make a mistake. Oh, sorry, we made a mistake. Move on. That's pretty much what happens. Are you there? Are you broken after? This cannot happen to America. We're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. We're supposed to have, a basic bill of rights. We're supposed to have some basic, human rights. That's what I'm saying. How can you go out, you listener, if you still, think that we are the land of the free, home of the brave? How can you be in that illusion when you hear things like this? How can you call yourself free? It's an illusion. Just because it's not happening to you doesn't mean that it's not happening, for God's sake. So all I'm saying is this. I will put a YouTube out for this show. I'm just a regular guy. As I said, I hope a more, let's say, better radio host out there, more, I don't know, people that have many more listeners than me. I wish somebody, you guys, you the listeners, I will put this YouTube out. You can make this your own way to help Chris. Put this show on every message board, this little YouTube on every way you can. Post it out, share it. I beg you. This is not for me. I don't care. Couldn't care less about this show. This show for me is just a bunch of trouble. You realize that? I know many people that they wouldn't like not to do this for much. I don't even care about the money here. I do this for free. I'm doing this because I want to do it. It's my way that I am fulfilling my oath when I became an American. If I can give you a microphone, I can give you the opportunity to at least share stories like that. That's what I'm trying to do. But there would be not enough money to pay the risk to be doing what I'm doing now here. You heard Chris. Just because somebody go there and try to help him out, bang, they come after you. I'm not going to back down. I'm here. This is the microphone. I thank KTOX. And I thank, of course, any one of you sharing this show. We still have internet, regardless. And we have to try to bring the truth out and bring justice back. That's all I beg you. Do it, please, for us, and more important, for our next generation. If we lose this battle with this tyranny, with this corruption, the next generation never going to get it back. It's going to be living like in a horror movie, I'm telling you. Okay, a little break, and then we go to next segment. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna. God help us.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Okay, we're back here for the second hour. Normally in this hour I talk about guns, the story, training. I had to make an exception today, I'm sorry. I had to change a little bit the format. This information, by the way, that now is broadcasting on the radio, I had to release it immediately after the night I recorded it on the internet. This is too big for me. And I tell you something, I really want you to understand. It is becoming like more and more like a pain, like almost a feeling, it is not like just I'm doing a show that I'm talking about the weather or the latest album of the latest band and whatever. No, these are human beings, and their life is being destroyed. And I cannot be, even if I was a cynical person, I don't know how much cynical you can be. Think about it. These things, when I talk about these things with these people, it's like real life. They touch you inside, they touch me. And on top, I must tell you, more and more I realize that I am playing with the fire. I really could stay home now. I don't need to be on the air. I could be drinking my Zanna coffee, shooting my guns, or even maybe just go to some desert island and just be there. I don't need to be here. Probably that's what I should do. Should I? If I really didn't care, I'd just take care of myself and that would be it. I'm here because I really believe what I'm doing, or at least what I'm trying to do. As I said, I'm a humble local radio host. Maybe my voice is going to be heard by a few people, I don't know. By all I can do, I have to do what I'm doing. There is evil out there. It comes in different forms. Every one of us has to make a choice. You will let evil flourish, or you will try to expose it. I'm not telling you to go out and fight with a sword. I'm just telling you, don't be afraid. Expose it. Stand up against evil. It's for us right now. I really believe what's more important for who's coming after us in a few more years. All this going to be on completely mass scale all over the world. We must stop it. And I realize the risk, as I said, even I'm a small fish, I'm a little guy, but I'm talking about things that nobody else wants to touch. I was just thinking today, many or most of my guests that I had the last couple of years, they're all now in jail. The Bundys. Let's not forget people that they are facing, 20, 30 years in jail or more for no crimes really. Just because disagreeing with the government, just because exercising their basic human rights, First Amendment. Lavoy Finicum, he got murdered. He was on my show. This stuff is real, guys. What do you think? I don't understand. What am I doing here? That's why I need your help. Not because I really need anything, but I tell you, let me feel that I'm not completely a stupid person just doing this. And on top takes time and energy. And maybe just a simple 99 cents, but show me that at least you care. It is not even for the dollars. Show me that you care. Because what I'm doing here is beyond money. There are no money can pay your safety. There is no money can pay your peace of mind or your freedom. When the wolves unleash against you, money is worth probably nothing. You're going to be dead if you don't fight back. So I'm saying, show me that somehow you care, share this interview with everybody you can. And if you want to support me, support the show, support KTOX, of course, but also go to www.zanna.us, zanna.us, and download any of my songs and share them on YouTube. In this way, you can help me out to keep doing things I'm doing, because you know very well I can't go around asking for sponsors when I talk about things like this. You really think I'm going to find a local sponsor, so many sponsors like this? Are you kidding me? So I need your help. It's up to you now. You can just turn the radio off, minding your business, going back to listening, baseball on the radio or watching football on TV and getting drunk with your friends, fine. Or you maybe try to do your little part. I'm not asking you to do anything, but just go out. Share this video. Go to zanna.us. Spend 99 cents, download any of my songs, and you support this fight in a peaceful way. Let's share the information. I'll tell you, I'm very touched today, more than ever. I need, forget Zanna coffee. I need a bottle of wine here today. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna, ready for our number 3. Do not go away. And really, what I said before, whatever God you believe, God help us, or God's help us, if you believe in more than one, okay? We need help here. Seriously. Don't go away.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on United States.fm network.
Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and a love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time, getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit FreedomLovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. FreedomLovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on KTOX 1340 AM, and also, of course, the new FM station 104.1 FM, and also on the internet on lovegunsfreedom.com. This point and dot, I always get confused. Anyway, this is the hour about love. I will share some, let's say, information about things that probably they're going to be connected to something that we call love. But remember, what is the real love? The real love is also, for me, having the opportunity on the show to let you share whatever you feel, whatever your feelings, your opinions. Yes, I have a microphone on this side, but the microphone is not just for the big guest or international guest or whatever. This is the most important guest for me is you. You can share your humanity, you can share your thoughts, you can share your fears, you can share your hopes. That's the idea of the show. This is the hour about love. As you know, I live in Mojave County, Arizona, and I love it here. It's a rural area, and I had the opportunity to meet during the years great people, people who live around me. Even we don't spend much time together, but, we've been doing things together in the years. We've been knowing for many years, and we follow at least, let's say, we have many things in common that we believe, okay? And today with me I have a caller that is not just a caller, he's also a friend. I did with him interesting things the last few years, from recalling a supervisor in Mojave County, and just other different things that we share. We share the same passions and many interests together. Anyway, his name is Joe, and he's from Golden Valley, Arizona, and let me bring him on the show. Today he was calling me, say he has something to share. I don't really know what it's about, but as I said, this is the hour about love, and you can talk pretty much about anything you want. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing, Luca?
I'm okay, man. Glad to see you because, lately we've been kind of busy with lives and we didn't spend much time at all together, but I'm in touch with you, and I know today you call and you have something to share, so I want to give you the floor. Go straight with that. Go ahead.
Well, Luca, like, the rest of the country, I've been concerned with, and I'm worried about what's going on in the world. But right here in the United States, as Donald Trump is trying to be president, he's getting a lot of resistance. And then today, we had that shooter that shot at a lot of our politicians like Rand Paul. I don't think he got shot, but one person got shot and got injured, and they were senators or something. They were practicing for a baseball game. And what's really concerning me, and it's heavy on my heart, is, I got family, I got my wife, and, there comes a point where these people who want to defy the United States, they get consequences, and the type of consequences I'm talking about is just simple law and order. It's one thing to have freedom of speech because I enjoy it. I know you do. And it's another thing to get in someone's face and basically pound the crap out of people. A lot of the left-wing liberals. I don't go around making fun of liberals, Luca. I try to be I was in the military, so I try to hold a military bearing, and that has allowed other people to be who they are. But when they inflict pain, like this shooter did, all because he doesn't like Trump, wants to go after these Republicans and stuff like that, the whole idea of freedom in the United States is let people express themselves, and it's getting to the point now where it's becoming dangerous. I believe this summer is really going to be dangerous.
Oh, this is no more anymore about freedom of speech. This is the way past the line a long time ago, and any act of violence never justified, unless for self-defense. And unfortunately, I don't want to start to say, I hate the idea of collectivist sense of guilt, because I always believe only the responsible should be paying the consequences. But there is a trend, okay? And the trend is, unfortunately, that I see what you call today the left. They have a different type of, let's say, Democrats of 50 years ago. Right now, what they call themselves Democrats is become like an extreme movement, completely, let's say, oriented towards violence. And this is not the first time. Look at the Antifa, whatever they call themselves. Look at the protesters that, how do you want cops? You want them dead. I mean, these people, they go on the streets, and some of them, they are professed Democrats. They have nothing to, not even trying to apologize, not even try to detach themselves from this movement. So it's really seriously, and I believe it's done by planning, by design. They want, this is not more some bunch of crazy people, they want to go crazy. No, these are being planned, and, let's say, used like useful idiots. So I'm very concerned, as you said, because I don't think we've seen the worst yet. What do you think?
No, I don't think we've seen the worst whatsoever. I mean, when you got people who are paid off by George Soros and his cronies, and you got the whole, Hillary Clinton, Arkansas mafia backing this. You got Obama backing this. When he got out of office, he stayed in Washington, opened up some sort of, my understanding was, to go around to town hall meetings of Republicans to get all these thugs that are paid by George Soros, and to disrupt the American people, the Americana, the great Americana dream that we have. They want to end it because really, I think what they want is communism. Period.
Oh yeah, this is on the open. Now it's on the open.
They're throwing. They're not throwing. Paper mache arrows. They're throwing bombs at people. They're disrupting. They're ready to. They feel justified, Luca, for their actions. And they feel like what they're doing. Everybody else can hit the road. They can speak, but no one else can. They can attack you, but if you attack them, they roll up like a little baby, and cry and then make a scene like that comedian. I can't even remember her name right now, but you know who I'm talking about.
No, this is true. This is, as I said, is a double, is a different standard.
Interrupt, but what about that in the park, that Caesar play of stabbing the president of the United States, like, he's Caesar, and we paid for that, Luca. That was, I don't know if you know this, but that was public taxation
Tax
that we
dollar.
paid for that foundation for that play. So there's our American taxes as a play of our president being stabbed because he's like Julius Caesar. So
this is serious. And what I said, I'm not a fan of Trump, but let me tell you this one. I never heard all these Democrats that they were pretty much now silent, pointing out all the crimes, the war crimes, the things that as a really like a real Caesar did Obama, completely disregarding the Constitution and the separation of powers. Now, they were all silent because it was their guy. This is a bunch of hypocrites. And more important, what I'm really scared, or at least concerned, that, as I said, this is just the beginning. Because what they're trying to do now, Trump may not be perfect, but what I see, there are some parts of him that's really somehow slowing down or disrupting their plans towards globalism. For example, this treaty with Paris, the scam of this, how do you call this, global warming, all this stuff. It seems like almost all this agenda of Obama is being slowed down. More important, Obama was just manager. This New World Order agenda. And now, even Trump is not perfect. They cannot let him happen. They cannot have this extra delay, in my opinion. So I'm concerned that could be another grassy knoll here. And then, of course, more important, try to fear us. We cannot even anymore exercise our basic rights. You go around walking with a hat of a political candidate that is not one of their guys. You might be watching your back because they may stab you in the back in the wrong zip code.
Yeah.
Well,
Luca, let me tell you something. About 2 months ago, I was going down, I was truck driving, and there's a truck stop right past, not a truck stop, but a rest stop right past Flagstaff when you're headed east. It's actually exit 135. A long story short, I had to go to the bathroom. I came in, I came out, and I wanted coffee. So I got asked this guy to break a 5. He did. He was an older gentleman. And I don't know if you've ever been to truck stops. Like this one had civilian cars are parked in the back, and then, trucks are parked in the front. And these two Muslims came up to me and asked me if I had any cigarettes. And I said, no, I don't smoke. And they said, okay. And then I started walking. They were walking side by side with me.
Wow.
And, well, I come from the south side of Chicago. We call it Chirac now, but it's, I got in between the two trailers because they had no choice to get to my truck. And they said, hey, you got any money? And I said, no, I don't have no money.
Wow.
And they said, they said, give us your money or we're going to kill you. I said, what did you say? They said, we're going to kill you. Well, I was stunned, and first thought was, okay, maybe I should just get out of there and run. And I thought, no, I'm too old to run. And, I just charged them. I ran at the first guy. I'm not going to say what I said, but I looked him straight in the eye, and one was 6'5", one was about 6'3", and I charged him, and he turned and ran and smacked his head in the trailer, fell down.
Gosh.
The other guy crouched down,
wow.
Like he was going to tackle me, and I blew out his knee. Now I'm not just saying this because I don't like fighting, but as the one guy, I blew out his knee because he looked to see when his buddy hit his head. I had that opportunity to break down his knee, and then he fell to the ground. And then as he got to the ground, I had the advantage, and I hit him as hard as I could in the face. And I had to do what I to defend myself.
Did you call the police after? Did you file a report?
No, and I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
Because I called my friend who was a retired policeman, okay? And from what he had told me, he said, because I yelled out in anger something nasty, he said that could be considered nowadays as a hate crime. I'm like, you're kidding. I said, these guys, I didn't know if they had guns or knives, but I was outnumbered. And because of my combat training in the Army, we're taught take the fight to them if you got sometimes no choice. Take the fight to them, and it worked. I got out of there, and they took their lickings, but they were going to, when someone says, give us your money or we're going to kill you, if someone ever pulls a gun on me and they say, give me your money, I'm not going to give them my money. I'm going to take the gun, and I'm going to have to turn the gun on them. And I'll tell you why. Because they've already seen their face, they've seen your face, and they're going to kill you afterwards. So, these terrorists that Obama allows these Muslims to come in that when he was running, or when he was in office. And, you look at France and then you look at Germany and you look at England. You got a Muslim mayor and they're raping little children. They're pedophiles.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. It is on the open.
I could go on and on about this all night, but my point is there comes a point in America. I'm not saying, go out and start something and get in people's faces. But what I'm saying is they forgot the one thing, Luca, and that's the silent majority to call the working class, the real working class. And the real working class is the people who get up in the morning, they're not on welfare, they don't escape the system just so they can, not work. They get up in the morning, they have an objective, and they go to work and to feed their family. And you know what? When you push that guy around, there's something that snaps when, in that guy. And that guy was me that day. I surprised myself. I defended myself. And I'm glad I did. I took the fight to them because they were coming at me, and I had no choice. But, when the shooting, today, I'm thinking this is getting so personal that Hillary is probably, foaming at the mouth and smiling like Obama. They think this stuff is cute. Accountability. I was in the Army 6 years, in the National Guard, got activated 5 out of 6 years, and then I did serve 2 years in the Navy. Luca, a 17-year-old whose mom and dad signed consent for him to go in the military, is subject to the United States Code of Military Justice, is subject to a trial, a court-martial, and the accountability that a 17-year-old under fire, under rules of engagement, has to go through. 17, 18, the majority of your military, is between 18 and 35. But the point is, the accountability that these politicians are getting away with, like with Comey, that leak. He was the leak, as you know. I mean,
on the
all
open.
this stuff could. Yeah, what are they going to do?
Nothing. They get fired. Best case scenario, they get fired. That's it. You go to jail instead.
Yeah, have a nice day. Here's your pension.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No,
but me and you, we step out of line.
Oh, listen, I got the
prison for profit, baby.
The first hour today on the show. I don't know if you missed the part, but anyway, you can listen again if you go to lovegunsfreedom.com. I have a Navy officer. His name is Chris. Okay. Chris. I forgot. Anyway, spending 1 year in jail. He got convicted with a felony just because he took 6 photos inside a submarine, of very generic photos, nothing classified, and he sent them to his daughter, and they threw the book at him. The same time while Hillary, pretty much, she was found that she had 30,000 emails and this server and lying to Congress under oath. All these things. This man is spending, his life is ruined, he almost spent more than 1 year in jail, and more important, this is prison, not even jail, this is a federal prison, and his life ruined is a dishonorable discharge, and more important, a felony. And this is just because he took few photos of him, tried to send them to his little daughter in an innocent way, and he was found and clear that he wasn't doing any type of espionage, anything. Meanwhile, we have people like Hillary that, they can kill somebody and still walk out. So that's the reality. We are no more under the rule of law.
Yeah, justice. Just us get justice. The rest of you get nothing.
Exactly.
You get prison for profit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is very serious. And now we see people like Comey, all these people like that, all best case scenario, or they're just going to say they retire or they get fired, but still they get their money. And there is nothing way. You will go completely through the books of the law. And that's sad, as I said.
At the end of the day, we are men. We have testosterone. We treat women with respect, okay? But at the end of the day, we know who we are, Luca. These people have no dignity. And
we have to find
out. We are.
We have to find. Listen, the point I really realized that by design, humanity is being mentally, psychologically, and chemically and physically castrated for a reason. I mean, look what's happening right now in Europe, where you have people hiding behind the curtains while their country, their cities are under siege. They've been burning. There is a complete invasion. This is not immigration or any type of refugee status. It's just a planned invasion with the consensus and, of course, the treasonous act of the politicians that they open the gates of hell. And at that point, in few more years, the country that used to be countries, now they're going to be like some sort of a Mad Max scenario, completely taken over by new foot soldiers of the globalists. In this case, they're going to be used as the Muslims, because they know very well Muslims, they're going to be the chaos factor. These people, they really believe in what they believe. They want to not assimilate. They want to force everybody in their belief, and they will destroy everything on their way. And they need this type of chaos. The New World Order needs destruction to rebuild the New World Order. So that's what we're doing. But in America, I believe we still have hope, because that's exactly why...
We still have hope, but people are going to have to stand up.
I agree.
People are going to have to... And what I mean by stand up is they're going to have to shock and awe. Like, Bush's real shock and awe is when the average American actually holds their town accountable and says no. And it's not about disobeying the law. It's about obeying the Constitution. Now, I know you're from Italy, and George Soros is funding the Libyans to come over in those little boats. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yes.
And they're in Palmero, right? So the Italians are fighting these people right now, and when I look at history repeats itself, Luca. This is not the first time. Why? I mean, if you studied American history and you have 8th grade education, we know what's going on. History repeating itself. This is nothing more than a Trojan horse. And because they have 6 children to our 1.5, the banks want to invest in the Muslims because they're going to destroy, and then they think these elitists think that they're going to be left alone. They're not. They're not. They're idiots.
No, it's true. This is very serious stuff. In Europe, unfortunately, unless there is a miracle, I really believe the tide, it's way too high, to be turned. I mean, I always believe in miracles, but I tell you, I don't see even the historic DNA that they can take this back. I mean, after all, Europe, beside something that was completely controlled, by the way, by the Illuminati, the French Revolution wasn't as spontaneous, and also, let's say, revolution like ours that was different, was to give power to the people and to create a republic. The French Revolution was just an act of violence to destroy and create chaos, and more important, to bring, more of this New World Order. But regardless, Europe doesn't have the DNA. And they don't even have something called a Bill of Rights that they can say, we use this as a platform to stand up and to retake what is ours. They never had freedom of speech. In Europe, if you talk about Muslims,
the average person should look at what we have here, and see what they have there, and the Bill of Rights, and we actually have something. And to go watch a baseball game, is one thing. To worry about who won the game, men need to get more involved with regular local politics. The average guy, because the average guy, his family's the one, his wife and his daughter are the ones who are going to be prostituted, and we're going to be slaves. And I'm not trying to say this to be, it's just reality, because when you look at history, this is what happens.
Exactly.
This is what happens.
Is this true? And as I said, Europe, just this conversation that we have in now, just expressing our opinions, by the way, based on facts, because I'm not even trying to be mean, it's just factual what we're saying here.
Right.
People, for example, like the actress from the 60s and the 70s, Brigitte Bardot, she got sentenced, she had to pay 14,000 euro, dollars, about $16,000, just because she wrote a very mild letter to the editor years ago, just saying what happened to my friends, and we've been invaded by the Muslims. A fact. There was a hate crime, there is no freedom of speech, and she was forced to pay. Otherwise you go to jail. And that's pretty much what Europe has on their hands. So you understand how difficult it can be for even just the average, let's say, person out there to even express themselves. You know, forget about the Second Amendment. I mean, that's not a story.
Right.
I'm not even going to go there. Just freedom of speech.
And you know what drives me nuts is the few. I don't care if it's the few control the many. And what I mean by that is look at your population, and the few would be your Congress, which is like, I don't know, what is it, 300 or whatever, control the many. Now, the few that do the fighting is a small percentage for what the population in the United States are who serve their country. Here's another example, Luca. The few that we think is this great big thing of Muslims, and it is, but it's relatively small if you really look at it. There's 6 million, I believe correct me with my numbers if I'm wrong, but there's about 6 million Muslims that have been shipped in as refugees, and there's one woman in the boat.
Yeah.
But they are the ones, and you got how many millions of British, German, you got millions upon millions, and the few know one secret that everybody else doesn't, and that is most of these people are bullies, and if you stand up to a bully, you win. You don't back down. You don't give him a reason to come back up, and you don't quit fighting him until he's completely gone and you're rid of him.
You're right. You know, we have no other options. This is not like a video game.
No
we have no
retreat,
replay.
no surrender.
We can't, we can't, because at this point, the moment we surrender, we're going to be completely gone. And more important, I really believe we have a responsibility towards our next generation, because the one day they're going to look at us, say, what did you do when all this was happening?
Right.
You were watching football.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys were on YouTube watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What did you do?
You were texting on your phone. Yeah, you're watching the sports, and I don't want to hear about the news. That's boring. Yeah.
Exactly.
But once you're invaded, then what are you going to do? You got nothing to talk about but the reality.
Oh, and when we lost the freedoms, and we were going to be really under, let's say, this majority, because the point is we've been brainwashed the last 30, 40 years, even by our presidents and politicians. They use the word democracy like, it's a good thing, or we are a democracy, we spread in democracy, and we forgot that democracy is one of the worst things can happen to any free human being, because 51% of the mob pretty much can dictate and can destroy the rights of the other 49. So we've never been a democracy. We're supposed not to be a democracy.
We were born a republic, too.
Exactly.
That's the crazy part.
So the point is, we're supposed to be in the republic where every individual right is defended. But now when we have been convinced that is a democracy, then when you have enough idiots out here, there could be, let's say, people from the third world. They don't even know how to speak, but they can vote just because they can push a button. Or people like, for example, coming from countries that they really believe that, you have no right to drink a beer, or you have no right to dress like you want to dress, or you have no right to do anything but what they say, according to their God. They will start to dictate your life according to their belief through the laws. Like, for example, in England, you were mentioning. I mean, the mayor is a Muslim, okay? Guess what? Life is already changing in London. Right now, for example, if you have, used to have billboards with beautiful women, maybe a little bit in bikini, a little bit, not naked. I'm just talking about Western Nights society. What's wrong with a beautiful woman, maybe dressed a little bit?
The woman who celebrates the body, but she's not degrading herself. Yeah.
No more, because it's against the principle. Next time I would like to see who's going to give you probably the license if you want to open a pub. Maybe you need to go through the new different rules or sets of regulations, because maybe you have a mosque 3 blocks away and you don't want to offend them. So this is very sad and serious. This is not about people who want to be living and be left alone. They want to take over and pretty much make you one of them, or they will chop your head. As simple as that. That's according to their book.
Luca, one thing I've realized, and I'm guilty of it myself, we all are, it's like that movie, The Matrix. I don't know if you remember that with Keanu Reeves, but
yes.
In the movie, it's about a false world, a world, an illusion. And our illusion is getting rich, getting this, and we forget about the simple things of taking care of our family, love the people that are around us, and actually, like you said earlier, take care of the next generation that's coming up. In other words, to do that, you have to be an alpha male.
Yeah.
Today's society wants to create these beta males that go along to get along, and what they don't realize is,
oh, listen, it's true. It is true. And as we were talking before, then I changed from a topic, but the average man, the typical man of this country, even 50 years ago, is being completely changed in his DNA. And there are many factors. I talk about this, during the shows. It is not just, let's say, the education, or what I call also the public re-education, or let's say the brainwashing the public schools with the politically correctness. But mostly what I'm really concerned is also the diet, the estrogen, of course, that they put anywhere they can, starting from meat, vaccines, GMO food, fluoride in the water. So at the end, you will have a population that is being chemically castrated. And if somebody wants to be a woman because you are born a woman, that's your business. But when a man, a healthy man, when he's from the young age, he starts to get bombarded with estrogen or different other elements that they disrupt the regular hormonal growth of a man, you see now what happens. Look at these guys.
Well, what you're saying is 100% true. Now, here's an example, Luca. I was on Facebook. I'm looking at this Roseland Roundtable. It's where I grew up on the south side of Chicago. It's called Roseland. So everybody's posting these pictures, and it hit me. It's like, wow, look at all the people in the streets. They're all skinny. The women are skinny. The men are skinny, and they look healthy. And then if you were to go to that same neighborhood today, obesity, and myself included, it's like all the GMOs and all the stuff and all the fillers, and it's done, like you said earlier, it's done by design. And what we forget, and myself included, and what we got to force it, we have choice in the matter of life. We have dignity, and we deserve to give ourselves dignity, get upset, get a little bit angry. Oh my gosh, you got angry, Joe. Yeah, that's part of being a man.
Yeah, it's part of being human.
Because when you send a man to war, he's got to be aggressive. He's not being passive. But the type of aggression has to be controlled because he has a certain amount of pride to know when to get angry, when to shut up, and when to speak, and when to sit down.
At least when somebody's killing you, somebody, we have very been, think about it. We've been so conditioned, okay? When somebody is in the middle of the night raping your child, or let's say burning your home, or let's say stealing out of your fridge while you're sleeping, and you get up in the middle of the night. I mean, this is exactly what's happening to our country. They are pillaging, our treasury, our tax dollar. They are raping our women. They are invading and destroying our borders, our sovereignty. How is possible that people say you need to be calm? I mean, at least exercise.
Calm. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
At least it's good to be always in the law. I'm always say let's keep our head cool, but at the same time, we have emotions, and it's sometimes emotions that are very healthy for survival. That's why we are, we have the animal instinct that it is. You need to sometimes control it, but also use it. Otherwise, you become a robot, and they will kill you. That's the bottom line. So,
I'm Italian too. My last name's Gaudio. But as an Italian man, you're taught speak your mind. You got this passion inside, and if it comes out a little aggressive, it's not a bad thing. It actually means you care. You care enough to get angry about something that's real. Now, because Tony Robbins, Anthony Robbins, is a motivational speaker, and the three things that motivate people is to avoid something, or people do things for two reasons to get up in the morning: to avoid a loss, or to gain something. And 90% of people do things to avoid a loss. So the point is, he uses conviction in his voice. He gets angry. He gets excitable, because that is what creates the nervous system to move forward and say, I could do this. And you just don't say, yeah, I think you could do it. You get excited.
Yeah.
But they don't want that. They want passive, like you call them cows. Is that what your term is? For slaves, right?
Yes, no, I agree. This is true. We have so much potential in us, and we have the decision to make. You want to make it or not. It's not just, the point is the time is limited we'll be given. And many of us, unfortunately, sometimes we fall in the trap. Hey, just as you said, let me just go by, okay? Instead and say what I want to do, what I want to achieve, where I would like to be as a human being tomorrow. All the dreams. Sometimes, even failures, because failures is part of the process to get better. You're
in the game of life then.
Yeah,
you're not sitting around pointing fingers and laughing.
Exactly.
You're actually in the game when you fail and you get back up. The quarterback who threw 3 interceptions but actually won the game by throwing 5 touchdowns.
Exactly.
He was in the game.
Exactly.
The person booing him was in the stands.
Exactly.
You know?
And there is no way you can, let's say, achieve success unless you have first some failures, because it's a process. You must learn. And the real strength is not about people who do not fall down, but people who can fall down and still get their pieces, get them back together, and come back up stronger than before. That's, for me, what really makes the difference. Listen, I want to give you the floor. We almost at the end of this segment before I go into the commercial. I want to give you the floor. Anything you want to touch, I'll give you the floor.
Well, basically, we covered a lot. And I just feel that I want my life to mean something. And to mean something, I always ask God, if I had tomorrow, because I don't know, you don't know if you're going to wake up in the morning, but if you were to grant me tomorrow, make me a better man. Make me a man of strength. And make me a man of resolve. And I'm not perfect. I'm a sinner. I'm not someone who's the perfect Christian. I don't pretend to be a perfect Christian. But Luca, I think the average man needs to ask himself, I need to have conviction, morals, standards, and convictions. And I want to be better than what I was, and get angry at yourself when you disappoint yourself and pick yourself up. And until you master something, until you get rid of that thing that's holding you back, I think we got to go back to traditional values, Luca, in closing, and that is raise our children and raise ourselves. We're not perfect as adults. Be better than who you were. Be kinder to older people. Open the door. Be that gentleman, but also be that man who's going to not take crap and have a voice. And don't be afraid to use your voice. That's about it.
I agree.
I got to say, Luca.
Well, I agree.
And I appreciate your show. I really do, because you know what? I've known you for a while, and I'm glad you gave me an opportunity, because you had the heart to start something and get people up and make them stand up for themselves. That's one thing I do know about you, is you like to empower people.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. I like that part about you.
Thank you. And also, as I said, we had shared some battles together. And I appreciate even thinking about the time. As I said, it's a journey, it's a long ride, and we share part of the ride together. I remember always with a lot of, let's say, even fun, because, I have fun doing these things when we were somehow in front of the door of Supervisor Sockwell, or doing...
Oh, Tom Sockwell?
Yeah, in Water County, collecting signatures and give him, in a peaceful way.
Right.
Our time, in American way, in a civil way, and that was a great opportunity to also know you. Listen, my best to you and your lady, and be safe when you go out there on the road. If you see anything interesting to report, I'd love to have you back on the show, okay?
I will, and I'll definitely report something. And thanks for allowing me to talk. I've had a great time talking tonight with you, Luca.
Perfect.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you. There was Jody Gaudio from Golden Valley, Arizona, Mojave County. Now a little bit of a break, and then we go the second part of Final Hour, the hour about love. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna. Do not go away.
In this world where everything seems to be going sideways, when you need things set straight, Zanna Coffee Straight Shot Espresso. Start your day with a bang. The best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade, certified, sustainable, organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Don't be cheap. You deserve the best. Get Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com.
Here we go. We're back here into the studio. I'm very, I don't know, tired maybe, but not tired physically, tired emotionally. All the things I'm facing through the show. As I said, this is not a show. This is not just reading some news. This is knowing, getting in contact with people that I know that they're living nightmares, and it's like almost getting to a real life story every time and living it on your skin and understanding that this is not just something happening to somebody else, but it's happening to all of us. Sometimes it's overwhelming, I must tell you. as I said, normally this hour I talk about things like, probably that they're not really significant compared to death or life, freedom or slavery, when we're talking about before the second hour with Chris-Haskell, what he's facing. I mean, normally in this hour we'll talk about poems and recipes and stuff like that. I mean, really, it's hard to go back to this, but I have to sometimes just to detox. Today I want to change a little bit because I still have things I wanted to talk and I didn't have a chance to talk during the first and second hour. What's happening right now around the world, it is a trend that is part of a global plan to mass extermination. Yes, you say right. You heard me right. I'm not crazy. I did my research. You can think whatever you want. I do not care. But please pay attention. Let's start with the facts. I played already many times. Bill Gates, another globalist out there, the United Nations, people that are in position of power, like former J.P. Holdren, czar of science, advocating all for not just population reduction or control, no, depopulation. Go out and Google the Georgia like the state, Guidestones. Just go there. From 7 billion, they want to reduce the population to 500 million people. Wow. Think about it. It's a big job to do there. Now, I was walking around Walmart the last few weeks, or different shops, doesn't matter which shop. I see a new trend. Humanity is changing. It's changing from what we expect to have, a body, human body with 2 legs, 2 arms, standing straight, semi-straight, kind of proportioned. I'm not talking about to be a bodybuilder. I'm talking about to have a regular body. Let's see who's busting my ass here. One sec. Whoever he is, he doesn't deserve the time. Okay? That's the bottom line. So, that's my point. Now humanity is changing. They're changing shape. How this happen? First of all, look at what they put in their basket, in their shopping carts. You realize that there is a connection between what they eat, what we eat, and how we are. After all, the ancient Romans used to say, you are what you eat. It is true. You see these people now not even their 30s, they look like whales. They cannot even walk anymore on their legs. They have to use the little, electric motorcycle going around Walmart, whatever it is. I already touched this many times, why all this is happening. And there are many factors. I talked to you about the food. I talked to you about the GMO, the corn syrup. All these different processes, the chemicals they put in food, completely destroy your DNA. You change, you start to change and not evolving, but devolving in something else, in subhuman. Not just your body, but your brain. It gets completely, let's say, almost reduced to a form of almost vegetable. You just basically, you can eat, drink, and fart and go back to work for a few hours and you're too tired that you go back to watch TV. They want to create a new form of animal, like a slave, who is healthy enough to just to be a good slave and then go back to their little, box and sleep. So food is important. The water is important. The garbage you drink, all these sodas with corn syrup and aspartame that destroy your brain, your cells, completely change the shape of your body, for God's sake. Try to drink every day 1 soda. You will see that sugar adds up to you. It's not even anymore sugar. It's corn syrup, GMO corn syrup. But the point is, before even we go there, now look at the vaccines. There is a trend all around the world that is not stopping. It's getting more and more aggressive, more and more violent. They're using governments to impose this agenda of the population. And when I say they, who are they? But the first layer is the one that you can see as the big pharmaceutical companies, because yes, they want to make a buck. When you make, a law that become mandatory for the population, or at least for as many people as they can get, to get a forced vaccination, guess what? That means billions and trillions. But that's not even the real goal. The real goal at the end that what these vaccines are doing, because you could make produce a vaccine that is safe, doesn't have mercury, doesn't have all these other chemicals that they are completely dangerous. And by the way, there is much more. You heard about the conspiracies of the 30, 40, 50 now holistic doctors that were all found, killing themselves with 2 rounds in their back. And I'll be sarcastic, very mysterious death. They all were studying a connection between the new vaccines and cancer. I believe there is something that we must investigate. Even the CDC, Central Disease Control, they admitted it, that they were given vaccines that contain cancers directly from the website. Go check it out. CDC admits cancer in their vaccines. Oops, it was just a mistake. Oops, 20 million people are going to die. Oops. There is no accountability when it comes to government. But you got to be smart. You must understand. Please stop being arrogant. Don't listen just because the doctor says, so yeah, if you want to be a doctor, I know, what are you, a doctor? No, I'm not a doctor. But I use my brain. If you want to be a good slave, yeah, listen to the doctor, everything he says or she says, and get your kids with 20 vaccines the moment he's born. Not even 2 hours later, they already give him 12 vaccines. You want to go for that? Go for it. I feel sorry for you, though, for your child. But my point is, look now what happened just right now in Italy. Decree Law number 73, June the 7th, 2017. They will vaccine forcibly all the children. They're all vaccinated because the state says so. Compulsory for children from birth to 16 of age. You gotta kill me before you vaccine me. You gotta come with the carabinieri, with the polizia, and I will do everything I can. Even in Italy, if I was still in Italy, even I didn't have a gun, because of course only the mafia and the freaking government that is worse than the mafia has guns. I will use rocks. I use knives, kitchen knife. I use everything I can, but you're not going to vaccine me and my children. Pieces of crap, slaves of the bankers, slaves of this big pharma. That, by the way, these politicians who voted for this, they're just getting their kickback. The excuse is to keep us safe. Meanwhile, the point is, first of all, you admitting that you are a slave, property of the state. The state owns you and your children when they can force something like that on you. That's not even to keep you safe. That's not even for the extra buck they will get, this big pharma company. This is about depopulation. That's what it is about. That's why I said, please, inform yourself. This is the hour about love. And I'm talking about love. Administrative fines between €500 to €7,500. You can, if I violate, you can pay $8,000 fine. Suspension of parental rights. Prohibition from registration of the children in daycare centers or elementary schools, whether publics or private. Jesus, I feel sorry for my brothers and sisters in Italy. I wish they could revolt. I wish they could start in 1776, and I'm not for violence, but when it comes down that, they will bring violence to you, and they will try to harm your children and your family. You have no other recourse but defend yourself. Unfortunately, Europe doesn't have a Bill of Rights. Unfortunately, Italy doesn't have the Second Amendment. Unfortunately, they're a bunch of slaves like they've been for generations since the time of the Romans. Do you understand why this country is so unique? That's why you gotta treasure what we have. No other countries in the world had what you call the Bill of Rights. Starting from the Roman Empire, the soldiers, the occupying forces, only the citizens of Rome, the conquerors, had guns, swords, weapons. But then, all the people, they were subjects. They had not the right to have arms, weapons. So happened during history. After the Roman Empire dissolved, continue with the different monarchies. There is the king, there are the enforcers, the king's men with guns or whatever swords, and the rest of the subjects disarmed for a reason. Because they can then pillage your money. They can, rape your wife. Yes, they used to do that. The king used to have the first nocta, okay? The first night, you spend it with the king or the prince. And of course, they can take your children. That's why you gotta understand how important to be armed. I'm telling you, I'm not violent, but you don't freaking dare to come and force on me. I wish I was a child there in Italy now, 16. I would have started a revolution, for God's sake. You come in my house, get me with the needles. Oh, let me tell you this. I didn't tell you this. When I was in the military school, I was young. I was called Nunziatella, Military Academy, preparation to become an officer of Italian Army. Well, one day, you realize that you're not for that type of life. I follow all the orders that make sense. Somebody is a dumb, stupid idiot, and just try to give me orders just because he thinks he has a couple of stars on his shoulder. Screw you. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. I know, I'm not a good soldier. That's why I left. I don't follow stupid orders. Period. So, you become some sort of an enemy of the system. So every time I was getting sick, because, you get sick when you're there, they run you around a little bit, little abusive, but that's okay. I made it through. But you go to the pharmacy, to the infirmary, where is the doctor supposed to give you help and some medication to try to make you feel better. My problems were probably I had my feet with blisters and, marching for hours and marching on the spot just because the elders didn't like my behavior, because I didn't want to kiss his ring or I didn't want to bow down and make his bed. They push you, to the limits. That's fine. Still, I don't break. Or I break, but I don't bend. I never bend it. Okay? I never bend, excuse me. So anyway, I went to the infirmary. And there is, of course, the doctor, who is normally a lieutenant or some sort of an officer. Then there is the surgeon, assistant, and maybe some other privates. Every time I went there for different problems, they started to give me an injection. An injection. I said, what is this magic injection? Because, I felt worse. So I have a headache. Oh, get an injection. Show me your ass. Oh, I have a problem with my knee. Oh, injection. Oh, I have a problem with my foot. Injection. I said, you know what, one day, what are you doing to me? I feel so tired. I feel so almost like a zombie. They didn't want to tell me. Really. So I came back there. I was feeling sick. I had problem with my foot. I had an infection. Because, marching too much, I had infection in my foot. I wanted some antibiotic. Oh, we have a special, the mysterious magic potion of injection. And by the way, I found out what it was. I knew it. It was a calmant, like a drug, like to make you stupid and docile. Forgot the name in Italian, but it is there. I found out and I had the verification. Okay? Guess what? I said, no, I refuse, officer, to take my pants down. I refuse to get this injection. I want a real medication, please. This is an order. Put down your pants. Private. I was even a private. I was below a private. You know what? I'm not a violent person. But there was a surgeon tried to put hands on me. Because I wasn't cooperating. All I remember was a black. Guess what? I remember that after that, I was facing court-martial. Because I fought back, all of them, 16, almost 17. Nobody was able to put an injection in my body. Screw you bastards. And I was young, alone, and underweight. And I fought with everything I had. And I remember somebody had a black eye and probably a broken ribs. And still, I didn't get that injection. And by the way, then I found out what was the injection. Thank God I had some family members that was a high officer in the army. And that was illegal what they were doing to me. They were dragging me because I was some sort of a weird element that didn't respond to their profile and asked too many questions. Thank God for my uncle. He saved me from troubles. But at the same time, nobody was able to give me that injection anymore. That's the spirit. I don't care if I am armed or not. And I hope the Italian people, I pray, they will rise up and take these politicians to the fracking Colosseum and put them all inside there and give them a 5 minutes warning. Get your baggage, get your luggages and leave Italy and go to wherever you pretty much want to hide. You slaves or the globalists or the bankers or the big pharma who's trying to harm us and our children. That's sad. Think about it. A government forcing your children and you to get so many vaccines that they've been tested, they've been proven that they can give you side effects And it's still the bottom line. It's your right as a parent to decide what you want to do. So that's the point. It's a hard day to do this show. I'm sorry. I should probably relax a little bit. Today is very tense. Forget about Zanna coffee. I should open a bottle of wine right now and just relax a little bit, because it is all this information I'm going through. It is hard. It is hard. It is hard. It is hard. It is hard to digest. I'm not a robot. I'm just a human being, and I have emotions. I understand what is the final goal here. As I said, it's evil. It's really bad. It is not just to make a buck or a little corruption. This is the freedom of humanity is at stake. That's what I'm saying. And we could stop all this overnight if enough of us, rather than fighting against each other, we would say, you know what? Yes, let's stop to use it against each other, and they divide us and they use us to pretty much control each other. It's an handful of them. They have a global agenda to enslave us, to kill us. Stop playing this stupid party game. Stop playing, this division. Let's understand what they're doing to us as human beings all over the world. Let's unite. Let's find love. Love for freedom. Love for each other. Respecting each other with our differences. I don't care what you do. I don't care what sexual activity you have or what belief you have. All I care that you leave me the freaking alone, and I'll leave you the freaking alone, and we're all gonna get along. That's the bottom line. And government should be very, very small. Unfortunately, it's like a cancer. It feeds on itself. You started with small, and at God's sake, it doesn't stop. Even in this republic, they started good. They didn't last too long, eh? But we gotta do our best. That's why it's a cycle. You go back and forth. And unfortunately, when you start to go too high, then good people need to do sacrifices. Even just to say, no, stop. We will refuse. Sometimes, say, you have to kill me, go ahead. But I'm not gonna let you to do this to my children. This is the ultimate form of love. Please, get involved. Get awareness. I'm not trying to do this because I have nothing better to do. I'm on the air. Sometimes I shouldn't do what I do here. I shouldn't even tell you these things, because all it does is get me more trouble in my life. I should mind my business. I can't do that. I do this because I love you. Even I don't know your children, I care about them. I feel sorry for them. When, if ignorance out there, you know what? In this age, ignorance is a choice. If you still believe that vaccines are good, that means because probably you have no desire to learn the truth. Take some time, go out. Don't trust me. I'm not a doctor. I said I'm not giving you medical advice, but I tell you, I'm a human being. I can read. And I have a brain. I'm pretty smart, believe it or not. Okay? And I even didn't go to school. Okay. Now, if you want to support me with this show, I appreciate your help. There are many ways you can do it. www.zannacoffee.com. The best organic coffee. I make it with love. 3 different blends. If you drink coffee in the morning, get my coffee, and I appreciate it. Music. More than 100 songs. Zanna.us. www.zanna.us. Just 99 cents. And there are different ways when you go there. My new book is coming next week. Perfectly Crazy, through Amazon. So anyway, that's the bottom line. This is the way I support the show. My time is free. The rest, I need your help. Okay, God's willing, I'll talk to you next Sunday. I try to be a little more calm next Sunday. Probably I will come with a bottle of wine to the studio, okay, just to relax, because this information is killing me, really. But we're here, we are alive, and thankful, okay? I'm excited. This is a great time to be alive. And in case we die, I got 3 life insurances, so make my day. I don't give a crap. Talk to you next Sunday, God's willing. You'll be listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna, and I love you all. Please share this communication. Go to lovegunsfreedom.com. You will find probably the YouTube, or go to my YouTube channel. Google Gianluca Zanna and find the video, YouTubes of this broadcast, and share it with everybody. Thank you. And by the way, if you want to be on the show, you're welcome. But do not ask me to be 1 hour. Okay, Shirley, please. Cheryl. Okay? I have other guests. Sometimes I try to do more people I can. Thank you very much.